Welcome back to CKQ Podcast. I'm your host, Clement. And before I introduce our lovely panel, would you do me a favor and hit that like and subscribe button for more content like this every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern? So, now let's get to the panel. We have John.
What's up, y'all? Black Wall Street Trading LLC is how you can find me on YouTube. We can have a discussion about how you can fire your boss. I can teach you how to trade stocks and options. So look me up.
What? Cool. I love it. Alex.
What's cracking, y'all? My name is Alex. I'm the host of my podcast, Everything is Anything. You can find me on Instagram at Everything is Anything Podcast. My personal is there. Basically, I just talk about the art of relationships and things that young adults, period, just go through. Yeah.
Awesome. Next, we got Sam.
Hi, everybody. I'm Sam. I'm in San Antonio, Texas. And you can follow me on Instagram at SamWow. The O is 0. But yeah, that's it.
Awesome. Next up, we got Maddie.
Hey everyone, my name is Madison, and you can find me at Diane_Maddie on Instagram. And this is like my 5th time on the panel, so.
I love it. We got my man, E Black.
What's going on, y'all? E Black TV. You can follow my YouTube channel, E Black TV, my Facebook group page, E Black TV. You can follow me on Instagram, E Black TV. You can just find me. But I enjoy coming to Clement, and I'm ready to get it in.
I love it. Last but not least, we have Montavious. I got it right this time again.
Yeah, you did this time. All right, peace, love, and shalom. I'm Untavious. My YouTube page is Law Libraries, audiobooks, discussions. Soon to be doing my podcast. That's pretty much it.
And we will be collabing. All right, everyone. Cheers. And here's to a great panel, okay?
What you sipping on?
Oh, this is Moscato, Barefoot Moscato, sir. All right.
Oh, you fancy.
Wow. Of course, sir. Come on, man. You hear this? Oh, shit!
Got my green T.O.
All right, okay. Now, on to the first question of the panel. Is it believable to say that you love yourself while overweight and not planning on losing weight? Is it believable to say that you love yourself while overweight and not planning on losing weight? Yes. Montavious, let's start with you. Since I'm happy to have you.
I already know how you're going to answer.
So real quick, before you go, everyone on the panel, we're going to do one quick go around what you think, and then we're going to circle back and do a full discussion. All right? So one quick go around. Montavious, let us know. What do you think, my man?
I guess my answer is a question. Is it believable that somebody loves himself, they continue to have sex without a condom, knowing that all these STDs are out here?
What? Oh, okay. Okay, all right. That was a interesting twist. Let's go to Alex.
What you laughing at? I think
You skip right over me.
I think yeah.
Yeah? Oh,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Okay, all right. Hey, that's fair.
You're entitled to your own opinion, sir.
I ain't said nothing.
You definitely
You've been on too many panels with me. You know that.
All right. E-Black, what do you think?
You see the horns coming up, don't you?
Can I have one request? Can you put me in between me and Maddie and the other
Sam?
Sham? Yes. Oh, I feel comfortable now. But I was thinking about this topic when you guys saying it, and I really am on the fence about this. I do believe that you can love yourself no matter what condition you're in, but I think also you would subconsciously not fully involve yourself in society the way that you really want to. So in a way, it's almost self-serving to love yourself. So we'll get into it, but it's a self-serving love.
Okay, all right. Sam.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and short answer yes, but not in like the way that, you know, like I agree with E Black already. Like it's more like personal, like introverted love rather than like what society is gonna say that you love. You know?
So you think society plays a view on it more than our own thoughts?
Yeah.
Okay. Maddie?
I'm going to say yes too, but I think that, ignorance is bliss. So that's kind of where my yes comes from. And we'll get into it more.
Okay, John. Let's light it up a little bit.
2 months ago, I would have said yes, but nah, you don't really love yourself. You are under the delusion that you love yourself, and you're using that as an escape, as a way to escape what you really need to be doing. Because that was me, and I defended it right here on this podcast, and I stand corrected. Absolutely corrected. I see all the benefits of accepting this and going on this journey, and I don't really see the benefits of what I was talking about before. Period. And it goes deeper than that. And when we come back around, I'll get into it.
No, it's open now.
Well, first, John, that's a good way. I'm sorry, but John,
go ahead.
that was a good way to say, as a man, I had a certain thought and I changed my way, and then you accepted your change. So that's a very grown man of you.
Most definitely.
Okay, so I'll start with that first point. You all know how I feel. I'm traditional, and I'm with a man's role. And one of a man's role is being a protector. And I found out by trying to help a stranger who's in distress getting beat up, right? When I intervened, this guy was smaller than me, but if he would have been just a little more athletic, I would have been in trouble along with that female. I was fucking vulnerable. I ain't never been vulnerable in my life, but I was out of shape. I was breathing hard, and I couldn't wait till the cops got there. Like when they pulled up, I was excited and happy. And I said, as a man, who in the fuck am I going to protect? You know why on the police test you have to run 1.5 miles? And everybody used to ask, why you got to run 1.5 miles? And why you in the military? Why you got to run 2 miles? People think it's to get us in shape. No, that's not what it is. It's a scientific under research. If you can run 1.5 miles in less than 15:28, then you can sustain under heated engagement with another person, individual in battle for at least a minute, for 1 minute. And that can make a difference between your life or you ceasing to exist. So that's why they have you do that. So you got to be fit to protect. If you're not fit to protect, that's one aspect of it. The next, you're not leading by example. How can I require my 3 boys to maintain a healthy weight if their own dad is not maintaining a healthy weight? How is that possible?
We can't skip steps here. Okay, we're skipping steps, man. Gotta read the questions.
Well, I'm just saying, it all feeds into it. You can't love yourself when you are overweight. You can't. Like you can accept who you are. That's just like having an F. Oh, I accept my F. I can't never do better. Okay, well then if that's the case, then you can love your life after that. If you fail and you drop out or whatever, if you can quit on one thing, you can quit on all things. So you basically quit on yourself. For you to accept being overweight and for you to just say, I love myself just the way I am, then you're failing yourself. You're failing the people you love. You're failing everybody. How can you love yourself when you're playing with death?
I would have to agree with what he's saying. I know a lot of people were saying that it's self-serving love and introverted love. But in a way, yes. But in a way, no. I think it's self-destructive. Seeing that obesity and being overweight causes heart disease, causes diabetes. It causes a list of things, and knowing that you can't. It's not necessarily possible to love yourself if you're treating yourself so horribly. I mean, and it's more or less, if it's anything, I would say it's a conditional love. If food is not involved, if exercise is not involved, then they love themselves. They love the way that they look, even if they look like a pincushion. They love it. So, like to me, it's a conditional love rather than any other type of love. It just depends on if food can get to their mouth.
So here's my question to you guys and everyone on the panel, especially you and John and Montavious. It's kind of piggybacking off of what Sam was saying as well. Does society have any kind of play in being overweight?
The society? I would say,
correct. Bigger society. Does media or anything have anything to do with why someone chooses to be overweight and stay that way?
yes. It definitely comes into play, but it also willpower also comes into play. It's environment, your own willpower, and what you've been taught from a child. If you've been taught love yourself, like that's why that politically correct mess is out the window. Because if you're taught love yourself no matter what condition, God is just bringing you through. Yeah, he is. He brings you through the fire, and you look like you've been burned. And so, like, what I really suggest is that people consider. I mean, maybe even if because I go to the gym and I exercise, but I don't see myself at top fitness still. And if they don't see themselves being able to run from a dog, if a dog is chasing you and you can't get away, then you lunch food. If you can't run away from a zombie, then it's really it becomes silly, because if you like what I think John was saying is, if you can't fight, if you're big and you're getting winded within the first couple seconds, you're going down for the count, and it's going to be very embarrassing. And if, like I told, like with me and my wife before, like I was like, hey, yeah, you know what? If the world goes crazy and I'm out of shape and you get big, hey, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. We going down, because if you're getting big, I can't lift you up. If you fat, I can't pick you up. I'm not even gonna try it, because I'm gonna get hurt even more.
You guys have these conversations?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Really?
I mean, because I'm all about survival and stuff, and she is too. Yeah, and I think it's conversation that people should have, like what if type things. Hey, what if we're getting chased by dogs? Are you gonna and that's where conversations like that spark from the family structure. And I talk with her about things like, hey, your position in the family should be where your position is if a bear starts running at us and we ain't got nowhere to go. If you're gonna hide behind me, then you should let me lead and stay in front with everything. Unless it's just conditional or with life or life threatening. Otherwise, if you feel like, hey, we're gonna go at this bear together, hey, then you know what? I'm willing to say, hey, my baby right here, we finna throw knuckles with the bear together.
Oh, we finna die, go.
That's cute stuff. Sam, you've been itching over there. What's going on?
I literally was just scratching my head. That's okay.
What do you think about what you've heard?
I mean, it's all really insightful. I think that these are really accurate points. And honestly, if I had to be completely honest, I don't think that you are loving yourself when you're allowing yourself to be overweight. I just didn't want to say anything that would kind of get me canceled or whatever.
But don't worry, it's only my channel. Let's demonetize it right away.
I mean, you're totally right. Being overweight is a health issue, and you are shortening your own life and shortening the joy of being able to spend life with people.
What about this one? I'm going to ask this one to the panel. Are there people who can't run from dogs? being thin isn't an automatic indicator of being healthy.
You're right.
Yes, I
there is no
definitely
such
agree.
thing as
And I have
fat
to.
and skinny fat.
Another thing that me and my wife often talk about, because I went to school to personal trainer. That was one of the fields that I went to school for. And there is a skinny fat. Just because you're not obese and have like the rings of Saturn doesn't mean that you're not like one step away from diabetes.
I am skinny fat.
Me too.
I cannot. My muscular structure is only for my
Listen,
lower end.
my fat fell in all the right places. I'm okay with that. Okay.
Shut up, Clement. This is not the pertaining. This is you quiet up there doing the
I'm loving
flag
it. All right. Alex, what's going on?
Yeah,
Talk to
I
me.
think that's one thing that we should clarify. Like, if we were to get canceled, one thing we should clarify is just because you say that someone is overweight doesn't mean that you're necessarily saying that the person is fat or anything. Like they said, it can be like a skinny person who's overweight. So let's just clarify that real quick because it was starting to sound a little bad, to be
We're
honest.
going for the real stuff, okay,
No,
Alex? We're going
we're
for the
not.
real stuff, the
We're
real
trying
nitty
to
gritty.
enhance
Talk-
our careers in the future.
Talk your truth.
Stuff
Talk
like
your
you
truth.
brought up. But I do think that you can love yourself if you're overweight. Now, is that being in denial? Maybe. If you know that you're potentially harming yourself and you're making yourself more susceptible to these risk factors of having like a heart disease, diabetes. I don't really think that you could love yourself if you know that you're susceptible to that. And instead of preventing it to live a longer, healthier life, then I don't think that you really can truly love yourself. But I do think that point that you brought up, that social media influences some people being like, I'm overweight and I'm proud. I think that has a huge influence on that. I don't have my microphone, but yeah. But I do think social media has a huge influence on that because I think Lizzo is a great example of that. She started out, encouraging people to accept the way that they are, and I think a lot of people kind of followed that mantra because on social media, I mean, we have become a little soft, if I'm being honest. They want everyone. Okay, a lot. We have become soft, and they want everyone to accept everyone for how they are. Like, we're on this, it's like this false perception that we're all beautiful and society should accept us. And if we're just being honest, it's just not that way. And so whenever you have celebrity figures like her, saying, I'm this way, I'm proud and I'm beautiful and stuff like that, that's great. But then even further down the line, if you've kept up with her, she's even starting to exercise and eat healthier. So it's kind of like, you can try to follow that false facade, but then your brain is gonna kind of be like, okay, well, I'm risking myself and I could have many health dangers. And yeah, I just think that you can try to kind of have that false facade as long as you can, but it'll catch up to you just like it did with her. Because if she didn't see an issue with it, if she really felt that she was in her best state, then she wouldn't be working out, trying to eat healthier, making more videos to encourage people to be healthier and work out as well.
Exactly. She hadn't had a scare.
Well, really, from what I thought, she ended up getting denied by a list of dudes. So she decided I gotta lose some weight because nobody's really interested.
One being a superhero.
Yeah. I don't
Captain
even know
America
if it was
himself.
just that, just a dude thing. Maybe, she could have talked to her doctor or something like that. Not everything concerns other people's opinion. It really could just be a healthcare professional telling you, okay, it's great that you love yourself, but you're at higher risk for a heart disease or a heart attack. You know what I'm saying? So
high blood pressure.
I can agree with that, but within the context of the question, because a lot of, I guess with those who are saying you can love yourself, it appears that they were just keeping to the point of, is it believable that you can say that you love yourself while overweight, but didn't continue with and not planning to lose the weight? Can you love yourself and have no thoughts of, I'm not trying to exercise, I'm not trying to pretty much upgrade or benefit myself? So is it still loving yourself if you have no thoughts of that?
I don't think so.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Wait. What?
I'm sorry. Yes, you can love yourself.
You can love yourself. So you can
loving yourself does not attain to your physical. It attains to your emotional. So you can love yourself emotionally, but physically you're not treating yourself as well, which seems like an oxymoron, but Follow me on that.
You gotta elaborate more, bro.
Yeah, go deep. I'm sitting up here
Yeah,
waiting.
Okay, I'm sorry. We got a whole bunch. We got a whole bunch of people talking.
If it stopped there, I would have been like,
well, okay,
that,
okay. Let me put it to you like this: can a Samoan love themselves? Samoan people come naturally overweight. As a father, I love myself, but it took me to looking at a picture to say, look, I do not like that image of me, but I love myself. I love the man who I am. So there are different levels. Like I said, it's an emotional state, and just because you may be doing, like, I love my truck, but that doesn't mean I don't wash it every week. You know, it's love is an emotional attachment. Where, as you're saying, not planning on getting losing the weight. Yeah, some people don't plan on it. So yes, it is believable that some people can love themselves emotionally, but not plan on losing weight. So,
so it's a type of love.
Okay, I get what you're saying. It's a different type of love. All right. Listen, I'll give you that.
Oh shit!
You got that.
I'm trying to be. Look, I'm trying to redo the brand. I'm trying to lay back.
You're coming in hot, brother. You're coming in hot. Listen, let's do this. Do people really care that much about other people's health? Do we care that the cholesterols and blood pressure of everyone, or just people who look a certain way?
I was going to say, I think that we're just kind of talking about more of how people look, because I would probably fit in the category of unhealthy, and I'm like probably way more thin than I should be. And so I think like whether you're underweight or overweight, you're still trying to get to a healthy weight. So regardless, Lizzo could probably do a lot more than I can do, because I see her dancing and doing all this stuff on the stage, and I'm like, sheesh, I might be a little out of breath a little quicker. So I probably need to get in the gym and do more things. But I think that you can love yourself, but possibly you just don't understand the detriment of being overweight or underweight. You know, possibly ignorance is bliss, and you might not just care about all of this other stuff or hear all of these other things. Maybe you don't go to the doctor and do all of this stuff to where they tell you like, look, you need to get here so you can be better. You know, that might not be in the equation for their form of love. Ignorance is
if I can switch the question up a little bit, for all of you,
focus on the question that was presented right there.
Can your spouse love you, take care of you?
One more time, you said can what?
Your spouse or your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your husband, your wife, whatever, can you say that they love you and they don't care for you?
Yes.
Wait, you said yes? Like
they love me and care for me?
Yeah. No,
I'm a little confused by that question as well. I'm not gonna lie.
All right, so the reason why I say this is because in a relationship, there's this give and take that everybody gives to their spouse. They have to show a certain amount of care. If you show your husband or your boyfriend that you're just not interested, that their time is not valued, and list of different things, that you're not caring for them, they're gonna step away because they're gonna feel like they're unloved. They're gonna feel like you don't care. So I see it the same way with the body. If you're treating your body like you do your relationships, then it's havoc. It's what the Bible says, your mouth professes it, but your heart is far from it.
Okay, that's fair.
I don't think that I should accept being underweight and just say like, oh, it's okay, whatever. I think that now I'm learning a little more about the healthy aspect of everything, especially from COVID and working home. I feel like being more idle shows me that, okay, yeah, I do want to take care of myself because I don't want to be forced to take care of myself when, you know, I get sick. I'd rather take care of myself while I'm healthy and stay healthy rather than having to take care of myself when I'm forced to, if that makes sense.
I want to open this up to the panel. Your spouse should love you how you are. Your spouse should love you how you are. I very much agree with that, honestly, that your spouse should love you how you are. But if you actually truly love your spouse back in the same way, you would be trying to be the best possible version of yourself to prolong your life so you guys could actually live a much healthier life together or increase that time that you guys have together. But that's my thoughts on it. What are yours?
That right there usually allow people to be mediocre in relationships. And that's why most people are single, don't have good spouse and don't have good relationships, because they say things like that. They should love you how you are. If I got a fat chick over here, no, I love her, so she needs to do better. She needs to work out with me. If I got a skinny chick over here that's bones, nah, she need to work out with me. If the world ends, we got to be prepared. And I'm not just like some crazy conspiracy theorist, but we have to be healthy for our children, because although I might not be rich and I might not be this high class dude, I want to present a picture to my children so that they can one up me, and maybe my children's children can one up them. So I'm trying to set the bar high for my children, and I'm not going to accept, oh, you know what, I'm going to be trash and become a statistic and say, hey, you better just love me how I am, and I can't really provide because I'm sick all the time because I'm not taking care of myself. But I digress.
Okay, but like, what if like
Wow, that's the truth, bro.
but like,
You
what if
can't handle the truth.
But like, what if your spouse is healthy? But it seems like you kind of like have an idea of like what healthy looks like. So what if your spouse is healthy, but they just don't look up to par? Because you're saying like, you know, this fat chick or this skinny chick. So it's like, what if they're healthy regardless, but they just don't look like how you want? Is that like a thing for you, like a deal breaker?
No, it's it has nothing to do with the aesthetics. It has everything to do with what you're able to do with your heart, and if you're able to walk down the street without huffing and puffing. I had a friend, he couldn't get up without being out of breath. That's sad. How you get up and already no, that's bad. And if it's the same way with a skinny person, that's why I said both sides, just to try to show that I'm not being biased. I'm not saying just fat people. I'm also saying these anorexic people.
Yeah, but the chances of a skinny person being like that is slim and none. Like, you don't hardly ever see that because they're not carrying a lot of body weight. You know what I'm saying? I remember people walk from one terminal to the next damn terminal. And then when I got on the fucking plane, I got offered an extended seatbelt because I couldn't fasten the fucking one that they give you. But society wants you to fucking people to think, love you as you are. Are you fucking serious? Get the fuck out of here, bro. You are killing that person. If you ain't gonna tell that man that they fat, or you gonna tell that woman, stop acting like it's okay. It's not okay. It is not all right. Well, I love Johnny. No, you don't love Johnny. He died yesterday of a fucking heart attack. Did you tell him did you encourage him to go to the gym? No, okay, well, you helped kill his ass. Because in his mind, he was all right with everybody. In his mind, it was okay. Listen, fat people, I'm a fat fucking person. I'm trying to tell you. If you say everything is fine, I'm going to take that shit. I'm going to be like, shit, I ain't going to no gym today. Shit, well, I said I'm fine. I'm good to go. We look for a reason to fucking stop.
And to his point.
Don't work out with a fucking fat person. You give them one. You can tell them to do 4 push-ups. Okay, just stop. They give up like that. We are looking for a reason to stop. We need a reason to start. My reason, I was sitting on the fucking couch and I felt sharp goddamn pains running through my chest, and I don't have them kind of issues. I don't have blood pressure problems. I don't have high cholesterol. So I was fucking concerned. Bad. Because I'm like, my homeboy just died of a heart attack. I understood his is genetics. His mom died before 50 of a heart attack. His brother did, so did he. He outlived them because he didn't he was fit. He was more fit. His brother Lee was overweight. He died at 42. His mother was a heavyset woman. She died around 47. He died at 48. But he was in shape. He was fit. But they have a genetic, dysfunction with their heart. So you can just go around and look this person every day and say that you're okay with it. You're not going to say nothing. I'm not telling you to go, hey, fat ass, you need to get your fat ass up and go do something. No. What I'm saying is don't ignore them. Like, how does this blouse look on me? Act like you didn't say shit. Like, have you went to the gym lately? You want to work out with me tomorrow?
And I really found that things like that, when I was doing fashion photography, there's a lot of girls that used to come up to me and ask, "Hey, what do you think what do you think I can really grow at in the modeling industry?" And I'm like, well, first, I mean, you may want to consider going to the gym and editing your diet, like fixing up your diet, because even with you being a plus size model, plus size doesn't mean big, like obese. It means that you are a little thicker than these little models. And to agree with John, man, like it's really, it becomes like you can't necessarily say that you love yourself in that situation entirely, only because, like, say like a situation where you sitting on the porch and you see a child running toward the street. If you really care for that child, what are you going to do? You're at least going to say, "Hey, stop, get back over here." You're going to try to at least tell this person, "Hey, your weight is getting a little bit crazy," or, "Hey, man, you look a little skinny. You possibly want to eat and work out, man. It's safer for your health to actually work out." And it's not about aesthetics, because I've seen some pretty big dudes who were healthy, but they were stacked and they was toned. It's more or less about being toned and being healthy.
Yeah, they look the part. Let me open this up to the panel, and then I'm going to drop the link in to the live. You can come in and shoot a question to the panel, shoot a question to anyone on the panel.
Oh, I got this one.
Okay, cool. But all right, let's go over this one real quick as a panel. There's a false assumption that everyone has equal access to the resources necessary to live a healthy lifestyle. There is a false assumption that everyone has equal access to resources necessary to live a healthy lifestyle. John,
you absolutely correct. Because the average person, I was just reading the research on this. Overweight and obesity is found in lower socioeconomic status neighborhoods and communities because of this why? Because I don't know if y'all know this, but if you want to eat some healthy milk, that shit is like $7 a damn gallon. If you want to eat healthy foods, most of it's high as hell. I mean, it's abnormally high. Your grocery bill, and the food wouldn't even last you a month, would be somewhere between $480 and $500 if you just went that route. However, understanding caloric output versus intake, and let's say you cannot afford a gym membership. I have a whole slew of exercises that can be done that will lead to weight loss, noticeable weight loss in a short period. It don't even matter about the period of time. It's going to change up you from being sedentary, stretching, all of that. You understand what I'm saying? You can do body weight, because most of your exercises need to be body weight exercises in the beginning anyway, for you to learn calisthenics. If you're a person and you've never played sports, you've never been in any type of physical activities in your life, you need to focus on calisthenics in the beginning, because lifting weights and stuff like that is going to be too much for you. It's going to be too much of a strain. Even though, we can start you off with the bar, but you're just not in that frame of mind. You can do stuff at home, and then the resources don't matter.
Let me throw this at you, though. Back in the day, though, even the low-income areas did not have fat people, right?
Because we used to go outside and exercise. We used to play.
Actually, that was what I was going to bring up. And I was like, people love to make up excuses for why they fat and sorry. And I'm not about making up excuses for being fat and sorry or skinny and sorry. Like, when I was growing up, like, I was outside all the time playing in the sun. And there wasn't like maybe 2 fat people in the whole neighborhood, because we was always out there playing basketball. We was always out there playing football. We was always outside doing something. We would be searching in creeks, playing in creeks, looking for crawdads and crabs and making them fight, trying to catch bees. Everybody growing up with me, we played outside. We stayed outside, but all the jobs really are becoming sedentary, like or in a factory. Like, everybody is sitting down or inside, and they're not getting much exercise, and they want us to be okay with it. There wasn't many fat slaves. There wasn't any fat slaves, but there wasn't many. But I think that if we have that excuse that everybody can't do it, then nobody really has to do it. I was in the Army. most of our exercises was calisthenics. So I
That's what I'm
definitely
telling
agree with John. Like, you don't need a gym membership. That's just a crutch. If the only reason why you're exercising because you're going to the gym, then whenever COVID shuts it down again, you're gonna be a fat. You're gonna let me take more wording again, and it's not gonna be good for you.
It's
My
it's
guy
jumping in
doing the
and out. A little
robot.
bit. You're
Uh,
jumping in and
Hey,
out a
but-
little bit.
Hey guys, can I jump in on this topic?
Yeah, go ahead. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
listen, jump in whenever you like.
I'm trying.
Well, actually, real quick, to anyone that wants to jump in the stream, they want to throw in their comment. I'm going to drop the link into the chat right now. But remember, for every stream, you can only jump in for one question. So pick wisely.
So
It is in the chat. E-Black, go for it.
So, like I said, I do believe that based on the U.S. government's mass production of food, there is an issue with the quality of meat. For instance, if you go to Arizona, where are you going to find a cow in Arizona? It's impossible. So they have to import the meat. So most likely the meat that they're getting is 1-2 days older than production, something that is produced locally. So you got to understand that certain black communities, like for instance, in my town in which I live in, they have one grocery store. You see the chicken that they have on there, the breast be all abnormally thick, but you have 3 or 4 Popeyes and Church's Chicken around. So I do think that the healthy, there is a reason why more on a mass level, not an individual level, we see more communities out of shape. It is because of access to food. So that's all I'm going to say about that. But I don't think it's an excuse, but there is a systematic issue in which back in the days where you could get local food locally through your local growers. They don't have those
out
anymore.
our backyard.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't know about you
We
guys,
had a
but
farm.
that's still in
We
my
had a
area.
garden.
We still have the farmers markets here in North Carolina. I think it really just depends on our abilities to find these places because, like, even when I remember being in the hood.
Wait, hold on.
Hold on. I just want to say something.
Let him finish.
I want him to, because he's bringing up a good point. But let's be honest. Is the farmers market going in style or out of style?
Out of style.
Okay, so that means that there's less access to fresh vegetables.
Well, and I really can't say it's necessarily going out of style. It's just that we're becoming less known. It's becoming less known to certain demographics. Like certain demographics are going further towards other things rather than farmers markets. Because I mean, a lot less men and women are learning how to cook for themselves, so they only going to get foods that's already pre-made. But I digress.
John,
When
go
you're
for it.
fat, get your ass up and do something. Eat what you want to eat then, but get up and do something. That's going to be more beneficial than what it is you're eating. And I know I'll get some backlash about that, but I know what I'm talking about. Stop parking close to the damn store. If you can't go to a gym, stop parking to the closest parking spot. Park your ass at the end like I do now. I park at the very end of Walmart when I have to go there, and I walk from the very end all the way to Walmart, all the way into the store, all the way to the back. And then when I get to do what I got to do, I come back out. Get up, just as long as it takes for you to watch Netflix, to watch a damn movie. Like fat people, this is fat people behavior, okay? I go to work, I come home, and I take a shower. I sit my fat ass down, I get something to eat, I want it right by me, and I'm going to watch TV. That's what fat ass people do.
This American culture, though.
An hour and a half long fucking movie, but you ain't got time to work out. You ain't got time to work out. No, your ass don't want to make no fucking time to work out. You understand? That's why you ain't got time to work out. A simple workout for somebody who's sedentary, nigga, 30 minutes is going to make your body go into a damn shock. Because you ain't doing shit. You ain't never did shit. So 30 minutes is going to wear you out. Get up and do your 25 side straddle hops, do 25 body squats, do your 25 girl push-ups, and do you some damn stretching. That's a start. Do that shit for 2 weeks straight and see if your body changed some. See if you damn want to eat so much. And that don't even take 10 minutes. That takes literally 10 damn minutes. And then the next week, add sets to that. So instead of just doing those 25, do 3 sets of that. And you're going to start noticing you're going to feel better. Your circulation in your legs is going to be better. You're going to sleep better. You're going to start producing endorphins. That's probably why you're suffering from a depression or feel like you're in a depressed, lethargic state, because your damn dopamine is not being produced. It's being blocked. It's being inhibited. Man, I'm telling you, I've struggled with weight. The only time I maintained a very healthy weight was when I was in the damn military and when I was fighting. When I was not doing that and I just fell in the mainstream and girls would be okay with it, whenever nobody say nothing. I noticed, why ain't nobody saying that? When I grew up, nigga, you're a fat person, you couldn't find one of them motherfuckers. Like, then nobody want to be fat because you was going to get bullied. You was going to get picked on.
Yep.
When no girl's going to date you, when nobody going to fucking talk to you, you was like you had AIDS. I'm telling you, it's like everybody knew it. And
I don't know about that. I don't know about that extreme.
In the whole fucking school that was fat. Out of a graduating class of 564 students, we had one. And that one was fat from preschool all the way up. But he's slim now. What? He's slim now. Because then society don't even accept you. Can you be a police officer extremely overweight? Not at first, because you can't pass the physical condition. Can you go in the military extremely over fat? Fuck no. You can't pass none of the requirements. Can you work for the FBI? Nope. Can you, and I don't know about your state, but can you even be a damn correctional, not a correctional officer, but a probation officer? Nah, because you got to, in Alabama, you got to be able to pass the APO certification. You got to be able to run 15 miles, you got to be able to run a mile and a half in 15:28. So why are we okaying it if nobody accepts it?
Let's hear what M3 has to say about this. M3, thank you for hopping up to the panel, my man. Thank you for coming up. M3 is his name. What's going on, my man? Talk to me. What are you saying?
What's up, E Black, my guy? How you doing, Alexis? How you doing, everyone in the chat?
You don't never get my name right. It's definitely Alex.
I said everyone. I said
Alexis.
I didn't call her Alexis. I said
I've been on his show like 3 times. And he still calls me Alexis.
I didn't call you Alexis. Though. I said, how's everyone else doing in the chat? I didn't say
Okay. Stop it.
You did call her Alexis.
You did call her.
Go back to the replay. Go back to the replay, anyways.
You know what, man?
Like Alexis.
What you think?
All right.
I mean, Alex. Okay, now, all right, my bad. Anyways, man, y'all messing me up. But what I was gonna say about the so I was going to read a question right about is it believable to love yourself while you're overweight? And what I was gonna say was that like, look, you know, it really depends, right, on the person themselves, right? I mean, some people could still find a way to love themselves, you know, through the point to still exercise, but they still could be overweight. But let's be honest, right? Nobody don't want to be like a fat person because, you know, you're going to get judged. People won't look at you like you out of shape, unhealthy, and lazy. And that's the one thing that, you know, like fat people don't want to hear is being called lazy. Even though, like, no one really knows behind the scenes that the work that they try to put into, but it's just unfortunate that there's some people, they have to work a little bit harder in order for them to like really like lose the weight. My thing is that it's always calories out before calories in. You do have to like try to exercise, try to do something to try to burn the calories off if possible. But you are what you eat as well too. So going back like to like the people like in the hoods, like in the poor communities, the reason why a lot of them, you know, have poor health and they are out of shape and all that is because well, one, there's not like a lot of resources out there, but then two, how often are people educating like these people, right? That there are different alternatives to try to have a healthy loss of weight. And yes, food is expensive. You know, I've been there. I had to go to like Whole Foods. I had to also learn that there's certain chickens that you can't really eat because they have all this processed chemicals in it. So you have to get grass-fed chicken. Grass-fed egg, what's it called? Pasteurized eggs or something like that. Pasteurized.
That's fair.
Yeah, and like
like some shots at you first before you.
What's that?
What was that?
Go ahead, Montavious. Go ahead.
All right, yeah, I mean, and I can agree with that. But like there's the situation of some people in the hood, or like let's say Section 8 or whatever, they only pay like a certain amount and they got a lot of money, but it's used on certain things that is not going to be beneficial for the long term. It's like some like temporary gratification. And so like if our people cared more about themselves overall, or like if the people of the lower echelon could care about themselves a little bit more, like they could get out of those situations. Because I know, like I was talking to some guys that about herbs, because I've studied herbalism, and I've talked to them. Hey man, these are some natural medicines that you can take to help with this, and they're like, hell no, the doctor say this. Okay, you know what? That's true. The doctor did say that. Go ahead and take whatever the hell the doctor gonna give you then. And don't worry about these natural plants that were used for thousands of years and help people with this same situation. And so like it's about like, not only are a lot of people who are not in the know self-destructive, but they also crabs. They don't care about themselves, and they're gonna be pulling down everybody else. Whenever I go to the gym, if I see anybody who looks like they might need any type of help or support, I'm like, hey man, you want to work out today? Or I see a female that's with her dude. I'm like, hey, y'all trying to get it? Y'all trying to get in a session with me? Because I'm always trying to push everybody, and I don't even charge these people. I'm like, hey, you want to work out? Yeah. And I try to make sure I pop up a gun and try to make and see that, hey, I'm about this life. You want to get it? Let's go. I can help you with your goals if you want it. But a lot of people sit there and say, oh yeah, these people love themselves, and I love them. But when they die, at least in maybe 10 to 20 years, because their life expectancy is knocked off by 10 years, like I'm going to say at their funeral, I really love them. I wish I really had a chance to say this and this.
Literally didn't
get your butt up off the couch. Let's go work out. Let's go walk.
Excuses are easy to make, and they they easy to make. How many thugs that's fat? I'll wait. How many hardcore thugs that's fat and overweight and out of shape? Because all the ones I know can throw them things, and they are in shape. They give police all they want. One of them will give police all they want.
This question went on pretty. Hold on, John. Hold on. This question went on like this is a good question. Clearly, everyone likes this topic.
Yeah,
we got to move on to the next question. M3, do you have any last words for the panel, as well as would you like to shout out your channel? Because I know you have one. I've been on there a couple times.
Okay, first I want to say shout outs to my crew from Knowledge and Relationships. Shout outs to the Hall of Fame DJ Eddie King, because they're in the chat as well too, and First Lady Tammy. Shout outs to all the people who helped us out as well too. And yeah, Knowledge and Relationships is on YouTube. Feel free to check me out, subscribe, like the videos, and share with your friends and family.
Cool.
And cool. Alex, my bad. I know I keep calling you Alexis.
Yeah.
But I know.
Yeah.
I'm working on myself.
Then tried to lie about it, and then
call me Alexis one more time, bro.
You got caught, bro. You got caught.
Love him for the way he is.
All right.
Love him for the way he is.
Yes.
M3, thank you for coming up, my man. Thank you.
Problem.
I appreciate it.
All right, guys.
Love your support, man.
Bye, M3.
Okay.
All right, y'all.
So, Jai, if you're still here, I'm glad you asked this question because it's the perfect segue into our next question for the night. Can you be clinically overweight or obese and be mentally healthy minded? Can you be clinically overweight or obese and be mentally healthy minded? E Black.
I mean, this is a tough question. I do think that with clinically obesity and overweightness, I think we're talking about individuals who are consuming a lot of calories and are maintaining it. So I do believe that there is certain triggers that may be going on mentally in terms of eating, self-satisfaction, and using accessible food for self-medicating. So I would almost say yes. Yeah, I'm going to say a firm that in terms of clinically overweight and obesity, that
you can be healthy-minded while still being overweight and obese.
Oh, no, I mean, no, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry. The way the questions went was kind of weird, but I understand now. But yeah, you
can't.
no, you cannot be. You cannot discount the way that mental health can affect the way that you're talking about your weight. In the
Okay.
terms of clinically overweight, when we're talking about in the high upper ranges, yeah, there's a mental issue.
Okay. Maddie, what you think?
I'm gonna say not that you can't necessarily be mentally healthy minded, because I feel like the way that society talks about being obese and overweight, I feel like a lot of the people that I've seen in that category have posted things like 10-minute abs or da 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 this, and they post a lot of like fast fitness to where you kind of see that they're unhappy with themselves and want that expedited version of health. And that's kind of like what I forgot your name with the trainer with the burgundy shirt in the corner below. What's your name again? Oh, Library of Law.
Montavious.
Kind of like what
Montavious.
Montavious was saying earlier. I think that we've moved nowadays into society in such a like you don't want delayed gratification, you want results now.
Zoe!
So So I think like a lot of people that I've seen that are overweight aren't really mentally healthy minded, because I do see that they want different when I see their Instagrams or Facebooks or social media.
Okay. Montavious, what do you think?
I guess my opinion would be biased only because I know a lot of people who are overweight or obese, and they say it stemmed from like a traumatic issue where is either they had a family member die and they just used that as a coping mechanism, or like but there are the few that have like medical issues where they get injured, they can't exercise, so they become fat, or they get their thyroid removed and it messes with their hormones and they get fat. I mean, there's a lot of different reasons why a person might get fat, but I think one of the main reasons is the mental part of it. Like they get it jacked up, their mind goes into a jacked up place, then their body start looking jacked up. It show whatever happens on the outside of the body is what's going on the inside. And so if their mind is jacked, it's going to reflect on the outside.
Okay. Alex.
Just speaking from like my experience, I would have to agree with Maddie. Like, I just people that are overweight, they tend not to be happy with themselves, and they kind of let society's pressures kind of in their mind and stuff like that. And it's kind of hard for them to love themselves, and 9 times out of 10 they aren't in the best mental health state. But I mean, that's just from what I've experienced. I do think that there probably are people out there who may be like obese or overweight or underweight, and they're happy with how they are. But just from my experience and dealing with other people, because I can only talk from my experience, I don't think that you can be. Just like how you said, there may be people who suffer from traumatic issues and their coping mechanism is eating instead of actually dealing with the mental aspect of it. So yeah.
E Black. Sorry, that was my fault. Go ahead.
I answered it.
Did you?
It's Sam that hasn't went.
Yeah, Sam.
Sam that hasn't went. I'm sorry.
See, you're just trying to get me started. See,
a little bit. Yeah, a little bit. Go ahead, Sam. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Okay, the question is, can you be clinically overweight and be mentally healthy? I want to go ahead and say that ignorance is bliss, but at the same time, like, we have enough access to knowledge, and like you would have to really, really be far like disconnected from everything in the world to think that you are like mentally healthy and overweight at the same time. So, okay, so what I'm trying to say is, like, if you are aware of the scientifically proven fact that being overweight and or obese can shorten your lifespan, lead to diseases, like we've said multiple times, like there is a really high possibility that your mind is also not in the best mental state. Yeah. But on the other hand, like y'all were saying, I mean, there are just certain sorry, I'm reading these comments.
Focus. We're in a show.
I know, right? My like ADD is like, what? But yeah, it's just, I mean, you'd have to really just be completely ignorant to scientific facts to be at a healthy mind state while clinically being diagnosed as overweight. And honestly, once you get that clinical diagnosis, you have to go to a doctor to do that, you know? And the doctor is going to tell you like X, Y, and Z. So you should know, like, scientifically from the doctor, like, what's wrong.
I agree.
We're gonna move on to John because Sam, your ADD is kicking in.
No.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
The answer is no. The answer is no. You just can't. And no, there's not people out there. There's people out there that make you think that they're happy and they're not happy. How are you gonna be happy and you're so different? You stick out everywhere you go. You're like fatter than everybody else. We're not that damn confident. What? We're just not. When you're overweight and you're fat, you produce this hormone called cortisol.
Is that
when you
voice
produce cortisol, you automatically will fall into a depressed state. Your body, it suppresses the production of leptin, which is a natural fat burner, and it suppresses the production of endorphins. So basically, what you want to do is sit around all day and do nothing. You don't want to do nothing. You just want to sit there. Can anybody hear me? Because everybody looking at me like they saw a ghost or something.
And like, just to kind of, can I piggyback off of that?
Like,
go ahead.
This is my thing.
I think a lot of the times when it comes to like mental health, whether you're in a good mental state or a bad mental state, like there's something to show for that, like the physical like aspect to show for it, whether that's like your physical experience or appearance, or like say like you're depressed or something like that, your room is going to show that if you're depressed. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
To me, kind of like it kind of correlates, because I know me, like whenever I get sad, like your girl is looking really, really skinny. You know what I'm saying? So I do think that whenever, you know, you're not in the best mental state, you don't take care of yourself, and that shows. People can pick up on that. Just like if you were depressed, your room is messy and stuff like that, you have day-old food and stuff like that, it's going to show because you're depressed. You're not taking care of yourself. You're not taking care of your surroundings. So
who watches my 600-pound life?
Oh man, I love that show's
name one house.
That is a train
wreck. What you just said. Name one house that was clean.
And the people feeding them don't love them because
name one house that was clean.
But wait, but that, on the flip side, a lot of them fat women were having husbands,
and they were feeding them.
Well, because them fat women get disability checks.
You wild,
come on, man. What? That woman can't satisfy. What's she satisfying? Come on, bro. Let's just keep it 100, bro. It ain't that big, bro. One, they're on national TV. They're on national. Let's look at the motivating operator here, bro. Let's call a duck a duck. That's what's wrong with some of society nowadays. You think for real, you really believe that this dude with this 600-pound, damn 700-some-pound woman who can't walk, she can't fuck, she can't do nothing but give him some head? That's it? He in love with her still? Shit. Really?
No,
I know niggas who left their wife because they couldn't get rid of the fucking baby fat. The baby fat.
Wow.
Shit. And you think you're in love with that? Come on, man. That man on TV.
Yo,
that man on TV, bro. That man ain't staring that damn woman. I know a lot of damn women who ain't no 600 pounds fucking husband left them because they gained 25 damn pounds, 30 pounds. Shit. And you really think you really gonna get me to believe, oh, look at him. He love his wife. He love that check and that attention. And when she threw with that show, her ass die, he out. And he got a side piece. Think he don't. Shit. Big old stinking.
Yeah, and I really like.
Hold on, real quick. Mr. Hall of Fame, thank you for coming up to the panel, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, what's going on, man? What are we talking here? Can you be clinically overweight, obese, and be in a healthy mind state? Kenya.
Well, you know, the one thing we have to keep in mind when we're talking about any issue dealing with a person and an issue that they're facing, we have to come with factual information. When we don't, we sound insensitive, arrogant, and ignorant. And that's something that we don't want to do. And I think that, you know, when you go to a medical professional or healthcare provider, the first thing they ask you is, in your family history, do you have anybody that has diabetes, cancer, or if they have heart disease, if you're overweight? And then if you tell them yes or no, then they determine, you know, where you're at a lot of times in your medical history. They're able to determine that. You know what I'm saying? So that's one. And then two, from that, they're able to come up with a plan to help you to deal with whatever issues that you may or may not have. And so first, we have to just diagnose why that person is in the state that they're in. You know, sometimes it's genetic. Sometimes they're naturally, you know, have family members that are big, you know what I mean, that are genetically bigger than other people. So they may want to eat healthy, or they may try to eat healthy, or healthy information may be given to them. But by the time they get this healthy information or these healthier foods or anything of that nature, sometimes they're already overweight. You know what I'm saying? Now they have to go back and basically deprogram themselves, reset their body, reset their minds, reset their emotions, their mental, their physical, and sometimes if they're spiritual, their spirituality as well, and recondition their whole life in order to be healthy. Because a lot of times, if their family genetics don't come with that and they're already big, oh man, that's a whole reset. You're starting your whole life over. And it depends on when they get this information and when they're able to basically accept the information as well, where the maturity level is at in life as well. So all that plays a factor. So we don't want to just say, okay, big people are just lazy or this way or that way. No, there's always a reason why. People don't just wake up and just, you know, just do something or become something, you know, just in an instant. No, there's things over time that have happened to them, whether it's through family history, whether they have mental, emotional health issues. Like I said, spirituality can be a factor if people believe in that, or whatever. There's different factors that can obtain to this person being the way they are. You know what I mean? And I know plenty of people who have had weight issues, who've had weight surgery, who have been skinny, been fat. You know what I mean? They've done the Luther Vandross when they've been fat, skinny, or the Oprah when they've been fat, skinny. They're going back and forth. You know what I'm saying? I know plenty of people that have done that. And these people, some people really do love themselves. They do. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, back in the day, where I came from my neighborhood, you had to be called. You got to be careful calling somebody fat, because they can give you a fat eye jammy. They'll lay you out. You know what I'm saying? You say the wrong thing. You know what I mean? They put you down. They roll you out if you want, John, but they'll put you down. I know some fat people that got them hands too. You know what I'm saying? So,
I know.
It may just take one hit. You'd be gone.
Yeah, okay.
And it'll sit right on you with all that fat and drag you right on that street corner. You be in the streets.
Hey, he ain't lying. I done seen some skinny dudes get folded up like a pretzel.
Yeah.
You be praying for him. You be praying for him. Don't let him catch him. Don't put him hands on him. Don't let his hand.
But I've also seen like professional fights where fat people or sumo wrestlers are sparring like these little tiny Muay Thai experts and got their legs whooped by a little small guy. And if I can, like, I don't think it, like, we can't necessarily say it's genetics whenever somebody a fat body, because it's often it's their role. I'm not saying that that's what you're saying. I'm just covering the part where you mentioned genetics. What I'm putting on there is that it's sort of like a genetics versus role model type thing. If you got a fat parent and and they have a child and they don't have any self-control over themselves, that's what we was talking about environment earlier. If they don't have any control over themselves, they're not going to teach their child to have any type of control.
Right.
And if we sugarcoat all of this stuff for big people, they're going to eat it.
Eat it up.
Why we want to sugarcoat it for them? Let's not give them anything that's going to tempt them to have a relapse, because everybody doesn't need to hear a soft stroke.
No.
It like whenever a message goes out, it's for whoever is able to take it. somebody, and if they can't take it at that time, it's a seed. And now the next person who may come with a softer approach, now this person, oh, you know what? I didn't like that other dude, but I like you. Who's to say that this dude that's coming more aggressive didn't inspire him to go to somewhere else? He may have said no, 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 and then somebody said, "Oh, you're a fat bitch." And now they mad, and then this person say, "Don't worry about that. You want to work out with me? Yeah, you know what? I like you. You said it a little bit better. I like that." Now some people are just used as stepping stones, and it doesn't necessarily. If we're gonna say that it's all about the approach, I'm gonna have to beg to differ, because it's all about the seed and the land that's receiving the information. When I grew up in a hood. I received information. I'm the only one that I can remember in my hood that has not been to jail. This is with 3 brothers, and most of them alive.
Congrats.
I received proper information from a child. I figured that I'm not going to be a statistic. I'll refuse. I have a brother that's getting fat. Where all of us were supposed to be skinny. I have brothers who are gaining more weight, and I'm keeping mine to a certain level.
All right, and Mr. Hall of Fame, do you want to make one final point, and then we are going to move on to the next question of the night?
Most definitely, and that's what I was definitely going to do. Now, what I was going to say, that's why you have to be versatile in your approach. You have to speak to your audience. You have to know who you're speaking to, and when and how they need it to be said to them. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be versatile in your approach and know how to speak to them. And I'm also an anomaly too. I grew up in a bad neighborhood, and I have never been to jail either, or have dealt with law enforcement as well. Never. You know what I'm saying? So, I definitely can relate to you on that matter. But as I've said, genetics is only one factor. We have to cover all factors of why a person is in the condition that they're in, whether they are fat or a drug addict or whatever. We have to always ask why, so that way we can give them a proper, help and a proper need and a proper education that they need in order to move forward and be better and be productive in society and actually love themselves and love others. And with that, I'm done. If you want to, do the spotlight thing, CKQ, like you like to do, I'm here.
Yes, sir. Go for it.
Yes, I am the network manager for non-gen relationships. That is M3's platform, along with DJ Eddie King and First Lady Tammy. You can find me at MR Hall of Fame Forever 23 on Instagram. Yeah, again, MR Hall of Fame Forever 23 on Instagram. I thank all of y'all. Have a great night.
All right.
Have a good one.
Out, man. Thank you for coming up. The King Gene, thank you for hopping in, man. All right, so everyone, if you could do me a favor and mute your mics, I would like to do a quick reaction video pertaining to the topic. All right. Fair use, fair use, fair use.
That is linked with, illness, undesirability, perhaps laziness, gluttonous, those kinds of words.
How do you feel in yourself about your size?
Well, it's changed over the years. And I mean, one of my earliest memories is my mother going to a weight loss group and taking me along. I was just colouring it in the corner, and she put on weight that week. So she had to wear a pig snout and sing a piggy song in that group. So I suppose an early memory.
How old were you when you were
about 4 or 5? And she was just trying to do the right thing in her eyes by dieting, going to a weight loss group. And I suppose the shame attached to that image carried through for me. And
so Julia, you're a fitness trainer. What do you think of Jenny and Dorothy being happy with their bodies?
I think that's fantastic. Are you healthy? Have you been to the doctors and they've told you that you're healthy?
Well, I think that's quite a loaded question, because I don't think anyone here who's thin is going to be asked that. So I guess that's what I would say to that answer, that we have to look as well at the assumptions that are made. And I would say you can't actually tell someone's lifestyle or health by looking at them. I do think that there's such a health focus in our country that I call it health.
So, is Was he off by asking that question?
Nope.
No, not at all. And she
just a fat
definitely
ass,
invaded
don't want
that.
to lose weight. That's what she is.
If she was
And
healthy, she would have answered it a
and
lot
what
quicker.
and the whole like when they first started talking, she tried to use an extreme situation that's not common, where you have this big person who does something and now they got to wear a pig snout and look a certain way. No, don't try to play with my emotions. No, and then you try to run away from the question of, oh, have you gone to the doctor? Had your blood levels checked? Have you had all this stuff checked? Oh, you know what? That's a loaded question. No, it's not a hot dog with chili and cheese on it. It's a real question. Like, you need to make sure that you're actually healthy. If you're fat and you're healthy, okay, good. Then nobody's talking to that person. I can't. It's hard to even say if you're fat and healthy. But if you're healthy, then if you're healthy, then it is what it is. It's not for you. But a lot of people get offended whenever the shoe fits.
Okay.
If they're unhealthy, they know they're unhealthy. They can't go to the doctor because they're afraid of what truth is. Just like old black folks, they don't want to go to the doctor because they got a good feeling that they're gonna get some bad news. That's why a lot of us don't know that we got colon cancer or just cancer of the lungs, all these different things until it's too late because we're afraid of that truth. We'd rather get positive information rather than true information. And that's where this negative energy mess, this positive energy mess is toxic, because they rather have positivity than having the truth. Because I can tell you all day, oh, you look good, man. You know what? Hey, just keep doing whatever you're doing. That's being positive. And you die next week. But I should have told you to get your butt up and exercise. Hey, come exercise with me. Let's go out and let's go have, you know what? We can even have some ice cream afterwards. Let's go get us some coconut ice cream after we get some exercise. Give them some type of, like, because a lot of people don't understand that if you give like that prize or that gift after they do something hard, their bodies are going to start, or their minds are going to start conditioning. Oh, you know what? I did this. I get a treat. I can maybe treat myself.
Right. It's called
behavioral
manipulation.
Let's get the females' thoughts on this. Alex, you've been quiet.
I was just
You've been in your zone.
No, I was just listening. I mean, I don't think he was wrong to ask the question, but like I think that she actually kind of made a point with what she responded with. I'm not even gonna lie, because it's like, no, like for real, because like if you see like a person maybe that's in the middle or something like that, you're not just gonna go out of your way and be like, are they healthy? Are you?
But who was talking? She was the one who was talking. When nobody else talking.
Yeah,
and it's
okay,
pretty much
in that manner, but like, yeah, but still, I don't, like I said, oh, I was reading the question, but yeah, like, I don't know, like whenever he asked that, I think he wasn't wrong to ask that, but she also did make a point, when I thought she did, at least, whenever she was like, are you just gonna ask someone else that, you know what I mean? I think it just comes whenever it comes to someone who looks extreme, maybe they're too big or they're too skinny, that's when we start to question the, are you healthy, because of the way that they look, the way that they appear. But if a person's just in the middle or anything like that, are you going to like ask that too? Like, I don't know. To be honest,
here's the thing, man.
It's a weird
legit question, bro.
It's a question, but at the same time, why do you care? Like, I'm not understanding why anyone cares. Like, if that person's happy with how they look, whether they're unhealthy or not healthy, okay. Like, at this point, like, okay.
Sam, what do you think? Hold on, wait. Let's get everyone else interaction first.
Okay, so so within the context of the talk show, she was clearly it seemed like the topic was clearly about her obesity. I mean, I don't know, like I didn't watch the full clip. I don't know.
Exactly.
But if that's what you're saying, like that was the topic of the show, was her health, lifestyle, obesity, then for him to ask her, are you healthy? Like that is a completely legitimate question, because it falls in line within the context of exactly what they were talking about. It's a very valid question. And in all honesty, like I also get where you're coming from, Alex, because like in the long run, I personally really don't care about other people's health and lifestyle. Like I really genuinely don't. Like, if someone wants to kill themselves by overeating or drinking a shit ton of alcohol, and they're not someone that I love personally or know personally, like, I feel bad for them, but I mean, like, it's not any of my business. But in the context of that specific talk show, I mean, that was the topic, was her life as an overweight person, from what I believe.
E Black. Oh, he just left.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
You falling asleep over there, man?
No, I'm listening to you guys. I mean, it's one of those things where, in the context, like Sam was saying, in the context of the conversation, you're essentially asking about obesity and weight and stuff. And the trainer, to me, seemed like he was throwing a softball question. He was just like, "Hey, are you at least healthy?" And all she had to do was either answer yes or no. So she didn't try to flip it and be like, "Why are you asking me?" Which is also kind of valid too. I'm sorry. You can't like, skinny people have colon cancer too. Skinny people have leukemia. Skinny people have blood disease. There's a lot of things that go on within our lifestyle. The guy that just died, or who's in a wheelchair, who's like the weightlifter, I forget his name. He's like a big heavy weightlifter. He's all about fitness. He got his legs chopped off. So it doesn't mean your visual issues the visualness does not matter as much as are you healthy. But I do think she overreacted in regards to the question, because it was kind of like, okay, we're talking about health. And I felt that he was just giving you a softball question. All you had to do is say, "Yeah, I'm healthy. My doctor said I got a grade A thing. I might need some."
He like let her, like, I mean, if you're fine with it, that's fine. Are you
Yeah.
healthy?
Yeah,
that was enough trigger.
No, but I think, it happened. I think if it was a female trainer who asked that, I think she would probably ask differently. She probably wouldn't have been as defensive.
I don't think
I don't
so.
know. I could see the concern in his eyes, though. Like,
Yeah.
in that video, he legitimately was concerned. Like,
It was an actual question.
Yeah, it was like,
Yeah.
Maddie, let's get your input on this.
I think even if a female trainer asked it, she could have probably asked it the same way, and she would have taken it better, because women just tend to take things better from other women than they do from a man. And also, I do think that if she was healthy, she would have used that in her argument and been like, "Yeah, I am healthy, but would you have asked XYZ, a skinny person, that question?" But I think that, possibly she wasn't healthy because she was kind of triggered and she did avoid the question. Like, if the conversation was about health, if you voluntarily took the mic to speak about health, and then, you don't want to answer such a simple question and you avoid it and kind of, I just think that, if you don't have anything to hide, use that in your argument when you're talking about health, that yes, I am healthy.
Okay, we're gonna hop right back into this video real quick. Mute your mics, please. Fair use, fair use, fair use.
A kind of moral obligation for people to be healthy. And I think that we have to watch that too.
I think that people have a blanket idea that all fat people are unhealthy and all fat people are unfit and all fat people are miserable, whereas we are not one person. We are a group of individuals, and each individual has their own relationship to their health and their bodies. I have an incredibly engaged physical activity,
Jenny,
and I'm the size
what
that
do
I
you think
am.
of the ad?
I would argue it's negative. I think even using terms like toxic fat, I mean, there's really no such thing. That's just made up for the ad. And I think a lot of these kinds of ads are
I think
quite
one of
negative.
the prevailing things that are happening here is that what I'm hearing is this intense sort of discussion around self-hatred and when you're in a bigger body. And I wanted to ask people, like down the front there, you who's 20, is your life better? Are you happier? Is everything better now that you're slightly smaller than you were before? I mean, I think one of the things
let's get an answer to the question. Are you?
Absolutely. And I'm not a little bit smaller, I'm a lot smaller. And I did do research into everything. I can still have kids, and that may not have happened if I had stayed the size I was. Like, my question to you is, can you honestly say that you are 100% happy and healthy? Like, you have no medical conditions whatsoever, you have no problems at all with your health? At your
Okay, can we
weight
have an
as
answer?
compared to...
Can we have an answer? No. The question's been asked. What's the answer?
I think it's really interesting that I feel like I need to justify my existence in this room.
No, but
right
hang on a
now.
minute. You asked her to justify her decision.
I
and
asked
she's
her if she was
asking-
happy. I didn't ask her to justify what her health issues now, or if there is any.
Have you got any health issues?
No, I'm perfectly happy.
I'd love to know, like, what do you see as healthy with eating?
Yeah, it's interesting that you've just assumed that I eat bad food because of
No,
my
I know. I'd love to
size.
know, because if you're really healthy, do you have any joint issues, or so you're
I
completely...
swim 2.5 kilometers a day. I walk, I exercise all the time. I am in a synchronized swimming team, and I really resent the fact that I have to actually justify my existence and my ability to live in the world in a bigger body.
But we're all talking about health tonight. I mean, the whole show is about weight and health.
No,
so
what
it's
we're
not an
talking about
unreasonable
is surgery, and we haven't actually talked about the possibility that you can actually live in your life.
No, but we
in
have.
this body.
We have to.
The defensiveness is real.
Yeah. It's getting me. I'm sitting there like,
Wait.
And the lies are real too.
Wait.
Hold on.
Y'all relax. Relax.
I want to start with one person. Alex. I want to start with you.
Why?
I saw you over there in the corner.
Yeah, no.
Hiding.
So first time, I was saying maybe she has a point, but I don't know. They're blowing it with this one. She was a little too defensive because, she asked the skinny girl, are you happy with your decision of being smaller? And then she asked her the same thing. Are you genuinely happy? And she just went in and felt like she had to defend herself. So, I mean, what are you exactly asking me? Just my opinion? I just thought it was
yeah, pretty much. Yeah, your opinion.
Yeah,
Your opinion on the people.
Yeah, she was a little defensive, and I think that
Did she have a right to be?
no, and it's just because it's she kind of threw me off because how are you going to ask someone the same question, they return that question to you, and then you get defensive, you know what I'm saying? So it's just people were just generally asking her a question. She came onto the show knowing that she's going to be vulnerable in front of a lot of people. They're going to be talking about health, and it's just kind of you put yourself in that position, you know what I'm saying? And I think a lot of people were just genuinely asking for another perspective, not even to judge her, but maybe they just wanted another perspective. And she resented the fact that she had to defend herself. And it was just kind of you came on the show to offer your perspective. And if you're fine and you're happy with how your body is, that's perfect. But don't get mad when someone's asking you for your perspective when that was your sole purpose to be on the show. And if you're happy with yourself, then why are you so defensive? You know what I mean? If they're asking you if you're happy or if you exercise and stuff like that, there should be no reason for you to be so defensive. It's just a simple yes or no, because that's what you do and you're genuinely happy. That's all I got to say.
John, let me hear you. I feel like we haven't heard you in a little bit of time.
Bruh.
Tell me.
The very first time dude was all right. It's called deflection and minimization. That's what it's called. That's the psychological terminology for what she's doing. She don't want to accept nothing. But that's the society we live in. And that's how she's getting programmed like that every day. Because why should I care if this? Because we're human. That's how the human species has always survived, because it takes a village to raise a child. You wouldn't be here in certain situations. Their forefathers and grandma. Now, I say I mean way back in the day. Somebody had to look out for somebody that's related to you so that their life would stay around, so that your parents and their parents and these other parents could exist. We don't operate like that. We just don't. I mean, this woman don't want to talk about her health. If she was healthy, she would say she was healthy. That would be, I forget who said, I think it was Madison. If she was healthy, that's one time when a fat person like myself would be able to shine. It's well, hell yeah, you quote cholesterol levels, blood pressures, and every damn thing. Yeah, shit, I'm fat as hell, and my blood pressure great, my cholesterol is this. But that's not the case. Both of them triggered. Then she lied. The other one on this last one, she said, the hell ass surrounding by toxic fat. If you're a fat ass, why don't you learn something? Because toxic fat, by definition, is fucking visceral fat. It's the fat that's around your heart. When you see people with them big ass cankles, that's called lower leg edema. The same amount of water that's in your fucking leg is around your heart. the heart around the liver, the fat around the visceral fat, the fat around the liver, the fat around the pancreas, and the fat around your heart. That's going to kill you. The average life expectancy of a fat person that's over 40 BMI is 58 years old.
Oh, shit!
58. So that's why it matters. So every time we encourage this shit or we don't say nothing about it, they ain't gonna be around. Why you think you don't see no old ass fat people walking around? You don't see it.
Facts. Man is spitting facts.
Wait. Time out. What age are we talking about? Oh,
58 years old is the average age for an obese person with a BMI over damn 40 some damn BMI.
All right, so I've seen older than 58 fat people.
Okay, you have
58.
how many?
Yeah, I've seen a lot. My auntie was older than that. I've seen a lot.
Okay, so we know
my grandma was older than that age. I can talk about many.
So we know two people.
I don't want to minimize the fact that we're talking.
I mean, when I say stuff on here, I don't pull shit out of my head. I'm a graduate student, so I don't operate like that. I have the research pulled up in front of me. I do that before we even get on the panel. I heard Mr. Hall of Fame make a statement like we need to know. I don't talk about nothing but research. That's all I talk about, research and from a psychological perspective. All I do is research. That's all we do. When you're in graduate school, you don't answer A, B, C tests. You research. That's all you do is research. And when we talk about these subjects, I pull up research. And the average life expectancy of a person with a BMI of over 40%, a 40 BMI, is 58 years old. 58 years old.
So we're talking averages then.
Yeah, that's the standard mean. And it deviated only by 1.5 years plus or minus. The standard deviation that mean was 1.5 plus or minus. So you're looking at 59 and a half or 57 and a half. Yeah.
Okay.
And it was always either ischemic stroke, which led to later trans-ischemic attack, or which was a result of the fat, visceral fat being around suppressing the kidneys. That's why they develop diabetes, because the pancreas can't perform correctly because of the visceral fat, and they have these tingling in their feet and in the fingers because of the diabetic related to the diabetic neuropathy. So they're not really getting, and plus the heart can't pump all the way down and back up. So then that's when you start dying in your sleep from congestive heart failure, because your heart is having to pump extra and it doesn't pump as much when you go to sleep. So they die in their sleep. I mean, it's just bad.
Damn.
You also take it into account.
I started to experience that.
But I understand what you're saying. But you said that you don't see no old fat people, and I was just like, okay.
I mean, you're playing semantics. Nothing's like 100%.
I mean, okay.
Related to like normal size old folk, you don't see these big obese old people. Look at Big Pun. Where is he at? Where's Big Pun?
Okay.
Is he alive? No, he been dead. He died before he was even 40-some years old. Been dead. Why? Weight obese.
I understand what you're saying. I'm just.
And your boy almost died. That feeling in my heart that I was talking about, those are the first signs of a trans-ischemic attack. It's not real, like prevalent. Like it's not like a stroke. A trans-ischemic attack is like if it only works with the peripheral nervous system in certain part. Your heart is electrical impulses. When you start hearing that when you start feeling those little shooting pains through there, you really need to pay attention to that, because I started having pain in my left shoulder and in my back, and I started looking this up, and I would walk up the steps, I'd be out of breath, sweating profusely. Those are all signs of a heart attack. Like I was like, no, I got to change this up. And I made all excuses in the world. You heard me. You was on the damn shows. You've heard me make these excuses, and it's the same excuses that these women are making. And because I didn't want to change, I was scared that I might fucking succeed at that. You know what I'm saying? Or it's gonna be too hard, or it's gonna be such an inconvenience. But when you talk about death, shit, nigga, sign me up. I was at the gym the next morning trying to get a membership, and I've been hard at it ever since.
I remember the last time I was on, me and John, we was talking about fat people. He was really for it. And I was like, nah, man, you can't really fully love yourself and then be on and be fat like that. You got to go in there and show and take care of yourself.
Yep.
And he was like, "Nah,
Oh wow, yeah, that wasn't that long ago.
Yep, that wasn't that long ago.
Yeah.
And I changed all that shit up.
Wow, bro.
But who next? Who next?
CJ coming up to the stage, my man. CJ,
What's good, everybody?
What's going on? What we
What's
talking?
going on, CJ?
What we talking about?
What's up? Hey, can we put some respect on John's name tonight, though? John.
He gets that. He gets that.
I know. I knew I was gonna get you to come around, player.
You did. I talked to Clement about this.
But great topic tonight, man. You know, as somebody who is a big guy myself, I pride myself on going to the gym, you know, at least 5 times a week now. It is all about accountability at the end of the day. Mm-hmm. That woman on that video, it was hilarious. It was hilarious because had that been a man, nobody would have cared. Nobody would have gave a damn. Mm-mm. The world don't care about fat men. The world does not care about fat men. Lizzo went around and talking about her body is body goals. And this is what I'm talking about, the lying and the deceit that women are fed. That's bullshit. Completely. Her body is not body goals. Me and my lady are in the gym working on our bodies right now because we know this shit is not right. Point blank, period. What is so hard to understand about that? Every medical science book will tell you if you are fat, you have a greater chance of death. Now, not to say that if you are skinny, you ain't unhealthy and everything, but I mean, come on now. Stop the cap. That was crazy, bro.
A fat person is always looking for a reason to stop.
That's always, a whole fact.
And it's not like I'm some skinny dude up here. Like I'm telling you, nigga, from a fat person perspective who've had up and down weight fluctuations. Like I live this shit. I live this. I'm just being honest and transparent. I lived this shit for years and years. Yeah. But this is what we do, bro. This is what we do.
How many?
Years, man. Years.
What?
Okay. I've been out the military for 18 years, and I would say I would fluctuate in weight. I would get down, play football, do all this stuff. I would fluctuate. The worst fluctuation I had was this last one. When the gym closed down and COVID hit, boy, I locked in. I had a fucking real excuse not to go to the gym. It was closed and Netflix, and I was blowing up by the minute, man. I gained 78 pounds. When I went to the gym, I was 390 some damn pounds when I started. 390 plus fucking pounds, like 97, 397, 400 pounds. My joints, I felt like I need a hip replacement. I felt like I need a knee replacement. Like every damn thing was hurting. I lost 40 some pounds since then. And in 2 months, all you got to do is get your ass up. The hardest step is going to the gym the first time. That's the hardest fucking step. Get you a month-long membership. Don't pay by the day because you won't go tomorrow. You got another excuse. You got one whole fucking month to become addicted. You got 1 month to change the way you damn do yourself. Because you got to first change your behavior. You change your behavior, you're going to gradually change your lifestyle. And after a month, the month is enough time for you to see some results. You will see that you are starting to feel better. You're going to see that you're starting to sleep longer. Why do you think comedians make jokes about fat people being up all night? Because we do be up all night. Melatonin is not being fucking. It's true. It's not like it's nigga. We be up like, what you doing? Clement called me. I'm surprised you up. Nigga, I'm up like a motherfucker. You want to get on the camera? Like, not only am I up, I am wide awake and I'm fixing to watch the sun come up. Like, you think that's a healthy mental state? No, that's not a healthy mental state. You can watch the sun come up.
Yes.
Yeah. CJ, what are you about to say about that? CJ, what are you about to say about that?
I ain't that far gone now. I ain't never been to the point where I couldn't sleep. I ain't never been to the point where I couldn't sleep because I love me some good sleep. But I want to
say I got a pocket full of money I sleep on, man.
That's a whole fact. I'm at work right now getting it in. But,
yeah, he got that bread. He sleep real good at night.
But no, I wanted to add though, because y'all was talking about love earlier, and just real quick, beauty is subjective, obviously. You know what I'm saying? What I consider a 10, y'all may not consider a 10. And love is also subjective. So it's hard to really, I know we talking in generalities here, but it's hard to really define if a person, because it's a case-by-case situation. Because what I may consider love, you may not consider love. You dig what I'm saying? So can a person, quote unquote, love themselves and be unhappy? Absolutely. Or love themselves and be unhealthy? Absolutely. Look at some of the people on 600-pound life. A lot of them people would not change if it was not for the spouse or if they just couldn't get around and get more food. So, I mean, like I said, at the end of the day, ain't shit cool about being fat, though. On some real shit. It ain't nothing cool about it. I ain't gonna try to act like it's anything cool about it. You can't. A lot of the things are not even built for fat people. You can't get on a plane. You can't get on roller coasters. A lot of the times when I love to cruise, and I ain't never had a problem getting on a cruise, but I see all these obese people on cruises, they can barely fit in the cabins. I mean, like, the world is not meant for fat people. I mean, when the last time you seen a roller coaster with a fat person on it like that? Like, let's be real.
You better not.
Because you can't close the fucking safety latch down to click. I know.
That's embarrassing, bro.
Yeah,
that is embarrassing.
And then the same people who encourage it, then you want to see how they really feel about it. You want to know? Turn around and ask them, "Well, shit, why don't you go holler at him? I don't want that fat motherfucker."
And when the last time
you encourage him, to my girl, you know you look good, or girl, boy, you don't need to lose no weight. You just big bone.
And I'm gonna say it, and I'm gonna keep saying it. When the last time you seen a fat Marvel superhero action hero? You ain't never seen it, and you ain't gonna see it ever, because that ain't how the world works.
I think nowadays you might actually see it just because they want to make everything a little bit more understanding.
Man,
no way.
That is gonna happen. That's gonna be the end.
We wouldn't like to see it, but
world. Period.
No way.
Like,
It'll be a woman. It'll be a woman. It won't be a man.
CJ, let me ask you this, going back to what you said though, because he did say beauty is subjective, but don't you think there's some innate drive in us to find a healthy mate though?
Of course.
Like beauty is subjective, but there's still a healthy component to it.
I think that comes from absolutely no. I agree with that. I think that comes from a subconscious aspect of it too. I mean, when we look at a woman who's fit and in shape with a nice butt and some big breasts, that sends off subliminal signals to our brain that, man, we can mate with her. She will bring me good children.
I looked up when you said that too.
I mean, that's
subjective. That's subjective. I'm sorry, y'all. Go ahead.
Think so?
Go ahead, CJ. Yeah, because we're talking, of course, generally, like, we would want the healthiest mate, but, you know, let's be honest, we all take each other's flaws. Like, my wife is not the most healthiest person in the world. She has her own issues. There's other people who have issues in their life, leukemia, cancer, you know, bipolar. These are all issues. So when you talk about full bill of health, we're all not giving our spouses physicals and saying, "Oh, you're going to be marriageable material." So I think,
but we should. If we're doing everything right, I think we should be vetting our wives, like go to their parents, go to their father, to their mother, and be like, hey, what type of things are y'all dealing with? Pretty much like what a doctor would do. We need to be definitely vetting them. Hey, is your daughter good with working out? Is she? I mean, what is her lifestyle like? And we should definitely be looking at these things to have a better relationship, so that we aren't getting with somebody who got low standards and low values, and then whenever they get with us, they gain like 50 pounds, and now we're like, all right, I'm no longer interested. If we find somebody who's on the right plane with us at the very beginning and then vet them, make sure, I think it'd be more beneficial for relationships, and the I guess divorce rates or the amount of single people wouldn't necessarily exist like it does.
My guy, I'm sorry, but that's cap. We're not doing that. We we give each other the benefit of the doubt. We accept each other, and when we get married and we settle down with people, we accept their faults. So if somebody
that's subjective.
Only to a point, though.
I'll leave it at it's subjective.
Yeah. Okay.
There's
Dr.
exceptions
you want
to that
say,
rule.
I
wanna
get
get
what you.
ladies and ideas on this. Sam, you've been enjoying this whole thing.
Yeah, this is. I love all of it. This is all like good information, honestly. Like because wait, sorry, Maddie was muted, but okay. But honestly, I just going all the way back to the fat shaming video where the lady started getting all defensive and saying stuff like, I can't believe I have to defend my existence in this room right now. Like, literally, my toxic ex would say shit like that all the fucking time. Like, seriously. And we'd be talking about, like, normal ass shit. Like, oh, hey, do you mind cleaning the dishes? And then he'd be like, I can't believe I have to defend my existence in this room. Exactly. It's confusing because it's toxic behavior. It's weird. Like, she didn't have to go all like, oh my God, my existence is being questioned because I'm being asked a normal question. Like, that's toxic. Like, yeah. So anyway, that was my response to video from forever ago. I just thought it was hilarious. But as far as what y'all are saying, I mean, you're just right on the money. I'm completely entertained by this conversation because it is very
real.
It's real.
Just keep it real.
It's hard for someone like me who is naturally skinny and thin. Like I'm a small person. I'm 5'2", 110 pounds. So, you know,
tiny.
Keep it up.
Yeah. And like, yeah, I'm tiny and it's
optimal body weight though for her height and weight. She's right there.
Keep it up.
Right there. Yeah, I'm healthy. I've been to the doctor, gotten everything checked out. I know I'm healthy. I know I could do Halle Berry is right now. But like I know that I could do a lot more as far as like maintaining that health. Like if I want to live a longer and healthier, like I could definitely go to the gym a lot more. I could definitely eat a lot more healthy. But I mean, I'm not gonna deflect like questions about my health because I could easily say like I'm fucking healthy and I got a good BMI. I could do better, but you know. But anyway, yeah, it's true that nowadays people are just trying to normalize like yeah, there is a lot of fat people in our society and in America. And I mean, when I say fat, I mean overweight. I mean, not fat. Forget it.
Fat.
Okay.
Yeah, you said it. Say it. Fat.
Okay,
There's a lot of fat people.
Just go ahead, counselor, right now. What's your Instagram again?
My Instagram name. Go ahead and report me for saying fat.
Don't worry, it's my channel. We're demonetized.
We had a good run.
Let's keep going. Send it over the hill at this point. Let's go. Going in.
It's a great send off.
Essentially, like I mean, it's like I get that there's a shit ton of different body types out there, but like all you gotta do is open up a Google or open up a textbook, and you'll see that being overweight will kill you. Like it's just not. You're just denying facts at that point, honestly. But yeah.
CJ, you got any closing comments before we move on to?
Well, I never went.
Oh, you never went? Oh, for the reaction?
Yeah, I never went for the reaction.
I'm sorry. You talked a lot, so I figured you would have went at this point.
Well, I just responded to different people who were saying things.
Oh, okay. Let me hear you.
You need a oh really. You need a oh.
Well, I guess even going back because there's the question of why does it matter? Even like during the video and slightly before the video, and I think it's a really evasive type question. It's like today's time. That's exactly what the trannies say. Why aren't you dating us? Why does it matter? Like we're women too.
Oh, yeah, you going off today.
I'm gonna get off here because I'm trying to have a career in like 2 more years.
Yeah,
I completely understand.
Back just a little bit. I don't have my channel's not that big. I'm not Kevin Samuels yet, so I can't go too far.
Yeah, all right, you know what?
You down like they did me.
Then I'll just continue on to the video. I think that like people still don't understand there is a difference between overweight and obese. I can be right now I'm like 183. I'm 6'2".
That's a healthy weight, actually. Yeah.
Yes, but according to what I learned in school, like often, like my body was overweight, but I'm skinny. I'm skinny fit, but according to the books, like I would be overweight, considered that. But it's based off a European model.
Yeah.
It doesn't equate in the different body types.
Yeah.
So like that overweight doesn't necessarily mean obese, but obese is where it becomes a really big issue. And with the chick, I think that after she thought that she had something when she asked that question. She was like, "Oh, are you really happy?" And when she was like, "Of course I am," she just sat there with like a shit-eating like face, like, "Oh, I didn't expect that." Oh, and then when she like, "Are you happy?" She's like, "I don't feel." She was like, I feel like everybody's coming after me now." She turned into a Karen. That's exactly what Karens do.
Karen.
Yeah, she hit her Karen mode. After she went and assaulted this woman, like thought she was gonna put her into a hole, and she was like, "Nah, I'm gonna leave this hole for you." Now you sitting in there rolling in a hole, wondering why everybody's coming at you. And really what to jump on to what John was saying, like whenever a fat person is actually in the gym, they have a certain level of confidence. It's a confidence builder. Like you see how John, when he was like, I'm really out here researching. And that's what people do whenever they're in the gym. For me, I'm in the gym around 4 to 6 days out the week, depending on if I'm able to trade with my wife, because we have children and we don't want to do we can't always do the child care with them. So we'll trade, or I'll go like at 11 o'clock at night so I can at least hit the gym still. And because we have to stay dedicated, and we enjoy at least trying to exercise. So I think whenever people come with a soft motor of saying, no, don't worry about it, what they're saying is this person who is just a little overweight, they shouldn't worry about it. But like what most religious groups, they take anybody who is fat now is going to take this suggestion. Oh, you don't have to do it. Love who you are. Oh, but they're not equating in the health effects. They're looking at this one person who is a little bit bigger, who is still healthy. And they try to put that, oh yeah, plus size model. She's still healthy. Person that's overweight, rings of Saturn, not healthy. And we always just try to pick what we like and try to eat it. No, we can't just eat whatever's good or looks good. We have to apply it to our own lives, but I digress.
Oh, that was unexpected.
Did he say rings of Saturn? Did he say rings of Saturn?
He said rings of Saturn, exactly.
I did.
What did you say, Alex?
I'm just saying it takes me out every time. Like my guy be going in, and then I digress, and then he's done. I don't know.
No. Speaking truth. Channel's already demonetized. It's good. Let's go. Let's keep talking.
No, I was just saying him saying I digress is like I'm gonna start using that. Like after I'm done making my points, I digress. I'm done.
I digress.
And if I offend anybody, it's not intentional. On certain topics, I just bring it the way I have it.
I love your energy, bro. Like I really do. But CJ, do you have any closing comments before we move on to the next question?
Hold on. Can I ask CJ something?
Yeah, of course. Go ahead.
Okay, CJ. I have a cousin whose father was 6'8", probably 280 solid. He works at the correctional facility. And then my cousin's mom is probably on the larger side, 5'10", probably husky. What about those people? What about those people who are like literally genetically predisposed to just being large? She's just gonna be large for the rest of her life. I've already known that. She was a 2-year-old the size of a 4-year-old. It had nothing to do with healthy habits.
I think if you go over to Ethiopia and look at the people that's starving, are they predisposed to being large too? Looking at somebody who's starving, that's a first world problem. I'm sorry, but 9 times out of 10, being fat is a first world problem. That's just the case. People who are starving and hungry don't get fat. I'm just saying, when you have a lack of food sources, you don't eat, the body chips away at itself, and you become skinny. That's just how nature works. No matter how much genetics you try to play into it. And I think that's one of the great lies of the fitness things, genetics. People come from fat backgrounds all the time and get in great shape. To me, that's an excuse.
Like you can have a precursor gene that makes you predisposed, like what you're talking about to be fat, but all the predisposed gene doesn't have a written code for it.
When I say my cousin,
you can do it. It can go if your environment is right.
When I say my cousin is her baby father is 6'8", any child that he have is gonna be big.
And I guarantee you, if your cousin's baby daddy stopped eating for 25 days, he will lose weight.
I understand what you're saying, but it's just not.
It's not what?
It's not
because
genetic.
he won't stop eating, man. It's simple. It's simple math. The more you eat and the less you move, the bigger you get. The less you eat and the more you move, the smaller you get.
Like, and that's about height or weight, because height 6'8", 200, and how much?
Like
that skinny as all hell.
But if he's 6'8", 280, he's not that far off the mark.
Yeah, seriously. So
like,
what do you mean by
I'm giving him benefit of the doubt because I actually don't know his weight, but he big. He a big dude.
Like, what's big? Are you talking like big solid, or are you talking like fat big?
Both.
Like sloppy big.
He's 6'8".
6'8" is like two fridges.
Bro, like you can get a dude that's 6'8", 300.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I can't call a dude 6'8" fat. I can't call a dude who's 6'8" fat.
You could call fat, bro. Like,
have you ever seen the wrestler Big Show?
He got Big Show. He got the size of the Big Show basically.
Big Show at his largest was 470 pounds. He was fat.
So any children
he was fat.
So any children.
I mean, even honestly, he was still probably better than most because he still had some level of muscle on it on top of it. But he was still fat. Like, I won't take that away. But other than that, CJ, listen, I love you, man. And this is why I really wanted you for this channel, but you're working. I get it.
Can I make this last comment?
Yeah, go for it, bro.
I think women like Lizzo are leading women down a path of destruction. Lizzo is one of the most thirstiest. She's one of the most thirstiest overweight women I've ever seen. And the fact of the matter is, successful men typically, I would say 95% of the time, don't go for women that are fat. I mean, that's just the case. And I think it's safe to say that the more successful that a man becomes and the more money he tends to make and the more, just the more he upgrades himself, the better his options become. And usually it's not fat. So I just want to know, when is the last time y'all seen any millionaire man that is in the public eye with an overweight woman?
Not even the old ones, bro.
Nobody. I mean, and really,
like the women that's less than 40 years old, and a couple of them just had babies, and they like 71 years old, and another one was 60, 68 or something.
And don't get it twisted. A lot of dudes will pop off Lizzo for a night. I mean, let's not act like
we got Elmer right here. He's ready.
Yeah, I mean,
but
Elmer's a counselor. That's what Elmer needs.
Even what I said at the beginning, though, even Lizzo is still like showcasing that she's eating more healthier and she's exercising. Like, she's putting that on display on social media. Like, I see what you're saying by she was like trying to like feed into this whole thing that being big is beautiful and that body goes. But even she, I guess, kind of like noticed it or talked to a doctor or something like that. Kind of took matters in her own hands, and she's exercising now and eating healthier.
And if you really can. Whenever you consider like all of the used to be fat famous people all slimmed down, you take Jennifer Hudson, Jill Scott, all of them, they were fat, but she was like one of the main ones that was like, I'm comfortable in my fatness. I'm gonna find a man that's gonna love me the way that I am. And then after getting Captain America and after getting all of this other stuff, she realized, hey, you know what? I'm gonna have to fall in line with society.
Yeah, and she gonna lose all her fan base when she lose weight. Watch. But I'm about to get up out of here, y'all. I appreciate y'all for having me.
CJ,
I gotta get back to work.
appreciate you for coming on. Shout out your
Yes,
channel,
brother.
bro. I appreciate you, man.
Hey, y'all go subscribe to the High Value Nurse on YouTube. 90% of the channel is dedicated to nursing and how to grind as a nurse and get this money as a nurse and how to be a six-figure nurse. Other 10% is dedicated to current events, topics similar as this panel right here, and to the occasional dumb shit. So y'all go to YouTube, man, and subscribe to the channel, man. And thank you for having me on. Shout out to CKQ. And I need you to tell me how to get that button for them sound effects, man. I need that button.
I got you, bro. I got you. We're gonna set it up. We're gonna set it up.
I'll holler at you, man.
I appreciate you, man. I love it. I love it.
Hold on. Move me back. Look,
let's take it easy.
Oh man,
take it easy, right? Right?
You know, I like to be around. I like to be around pretty women. I'm sorry. It's just it changes my whole tone of.
Okay. So on to the next question of the night. Is there a right and wrong when it comes to body shaming versus body positivity? Is there a right and wrong when it comes to body shaming versus body positivity? Maddie, I want to see you sweat. Go.
I'm just trying to understand the question. Is there a right way to body shame and a right way to?
No, is one actually right versus the other?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think that too much of anything can be bad, as you know, is what I say. Body shaming. I think that as a Christian, you know, they have that verse in the Bible that says better wounds from a friend than kisses from an enemy. So if you're always like saying, oh, you look great, you're great, and like gassing somebody up into their destruction, that's no use for that person. And it's better to be honest. And so I think that you do have to find that balance. And if we're gonna go around first, I'll wait.
Okay. Yeah, let's do that real quick. We're gonna go to the ladies first. Alex.
I ain't gonna lie, I'm still trying to understand the question. Is there a right and wrong when it comes? I mean, I guess.
Do you think body shaming is right? Do you think body positivity is right? Do you think any of them is right? Both are wrong. What do you think about it?
No, I don't
Either
think I definitely don't think body shaming is right. For one, body positivity, like Maddie was coming from, I can see where too much of anything is it can be detrimental. So that's the answer to the question. I'm gonna think a little more to elaborate on it.
Okay, Sam, before you fall asleep over there.
I'm wide awake actually. I just always have a blanket on my lap.
That's fair.
But I don't know if it's just me. I mean, I'm not as old as some people, but I feel like body shaming and body positivity are both buzzwords or buzz phrases that are new in the past few years or so.
Mm-hmm. Come on.
Yeah, and in all honesty, even though they came from people within my generation, I can't say that I completely understand or back up the things that come with either body shaming or body positivity. But I can't say for one that body shaming, I mean, people will say, okay, here's a really bad example because you know me, I have some really bad examples that I pull out of my ass. But you could look at someone and say, oh wow, I actually probably can't say this to them, but you could be like, wow, that person is overweight, or that person is a big person. And you could literally just say those words and they could be taken as body shaming, you know? Mm-hmm. And then on the other end, you could be like, wow, look at this girl. I could see her rib cage. She must be like a model or whatever. And that hyping it up like it's body positivity. So I don't know, I feel like a lot of people use the phrase body positivity to validate incorrect body behaviors, You know, they're like, I may look this way, but I'm body positive, you know, and it's just not healthy. And you literally get the extreme as a result of people being body positive and body shaming, you know? It's like a vicious cycle. Like you go from one extreme to the other, and it's like it's both people on both sides are attacking each other constantly because like they know that one side is validation and the other side is deprecation, and it's not conductive. Yeah, it's not conductive to any type of situation. Like I don't know where these things came from, body shaming and body positivity, but I just feel like overall, like maybe we should just try to cancel those somehow.
Cancel.
Yeah.
Cancel everything.
That is the
Cancel it
purpose
all.
of this show. Cancel that.
Maybe
things.
how about we just start hyping up like healthy lifestyle? How about we just start doing that? Because
Yes, and kill this other noise so people will live longer, bruh.
Exactly.
Like, had me over here accepting this fat shit, and I was about to die. I can't believe nobody. Oh,
like seriously,
John. Wait. Sam, hold on to that. We'll go to John. You got a lot to say. I appreciate it. John, go for it.
I see it. I'm with Sam. Cancel this shit. Body shaming should be there. Yeah. If you're not willing to body shame and let somebody know you're fat or obese or whatever the politically correct word would be, you big bone, you're heavy set, you're rather large. If you're not willing to do that, then stop presenting to them this false, because you're giving a person a false sense of security. And that is wrong as you shooting at them. Because they living in this world in a fucking bubble of delusion. And that's what social media have done. Because in the real world, when you get your ass out from in front of that, see how everybody gets so reactive. Oh my God, shit, I'm about to get off here. Y'all gonna get us, you're gonna get me canceled. That's like terrorism. Somebody, you know what will happen from a social media standpoint. It's not illegal to call somebody fat in real life. In the real world, you can say
we
fat.
just try to survive out here. We just try to survive and have a career. That's all.
Right.
Because trust me, there's been some people who have called other people fat and have suffered repercussionally.
Yeah, we know that, and I know it is real. It's real, but why is it? Like, why could it be? It should not be, because when you step out, when you cut this camera off and you go out there in the real world and you're not getting jobs, you're not being able to do what you need to do, people are not attracted to you. That's the real. So because they don't want to date you, that's body shaming. I promise you that's what that is. Or you just don't want to date me because I'm fat. You saw how defensive a person who is fat can be. I've been defensive on this show. You can be really defensive when you know the truth hurts, man. The truth hurts. But sometimes you just have to hear it, or in my case, feel it, and then you wake the hell up. But the social media is like people live inside social media. This is like social media dictates how the whole world operates. And it's not, as soon as you cut the camera off and walk outside, I promise you, you'll hear people, I hear them all the time, man, so-and-so fat, so-and-so obese, need to lose some weight. I got told, and I'm like, I'm working on it. I don't be sensitive.
I'm going to pull up real quick. I'm going to pull up someone that who's had a lot to say. So,
oh God,
he's some great lighting.
Elmer?
That is Elmer.
How's it going, everybody?
Hola, ¿cómo está, bro?
Can you hear me?
Hey.
Yes, sir. It's not pretty clear, actually. Yeah.
Listen, like, I know for a fact that Clem picks the questions that he knows I'm gonna get pissed about and have to call in.
Yeah.
So
I like seeing you, bro. So I got to do whatever I can to get you here.
Right.
Good job, buddy. Good job,
just
bro.
trying to bait me in. Here's what, like, to me, this should have been the only question on the panel, because here's the thing about, and I like John, and John's my guy. He's my dad. He's my second dad. But like, we all know that you shouldn't be obese. That's not a thing. And like, you want to say that because of what you see, but like, majority of the people know that that is not the right way to be morbidly obese. Nobody likes it. Nobody wants to be like that. Nobody wants to promote that. Even Lizzo is losing weight right now. Like, that was the biggest supporter of that.
Mm-hmm.
This question is what the line is. Is like, what is body shaming and what is body positivity? That's the only question. What can I do to convince as many people as possible to lose weight and live a healthy lifestyle and live a productive lifestyle? That's what we're trying to figure out. And to me, it's not body shaming. Like, body shaming to me is a real word. Like, it's not telling people that they're fat. It's not insulting people. It's not making them feel bad about them being fat. They already feel that. So how do I get to the point where I can influence people to lose weight? And the only answer to me is to lead by example.
Right.
So you focus on yourself, you work out, you do what you can, you show these people that this is a nice lifestyle to live, and they'll follow you and they'll ask you questions and they'll do stuff to you. But I never want to call anyone fat. I never want to say anyone is disgusting. Because that's like an instinctual feeling in us to be disgusted by someone. And that's really what the people that call people fat are doing. They're disgusted by looking at that. And I never want to be disgusted by anyone except like a racist or a Republican, you know what I'm saying? But but other than that, like, I never, like, that's not going to change anything. That's not going to help them from being fat. That's not going to help them get skinnier. That's not going to help improve anything. The only way you can do that is to show them by you practicing. It's like the same thing that you teach your kids. Like, you don't do as I say, not as I do. You do as I do. And that like translates to everybody, to a friend, to a stranger, to a family member. So, like, I refuse this idea that social media is pushing this concept that being fat is okay. And by fat, I mean morbidly obese. And by that, that's like that's another discussion I have, because right now they're telling us that people that are morbidly obese aren't, and people that are fat are morbidly obese. Like, that's like a thing. We gotta like rectify that. So like,
they got it rectified. Like, they got it identified in BMI levels. So that's what I was gonna get into with E-Black.
But
you can't go just by weight and chart. You got to go by how much of your body is fat and how much of your body is lean muscle.
But even BMI doesn't truly like indicate that, because at
what point can we say, okay, this is the metric that we're going to start on? Obviously, there's no metric that can accurately pinpoint every single little thing.
Yeah.
At what point can we say, okay, here's what we're going to look at and start from this point on, until we get to the point where we have a very accurate scale? When can we say that?
And that's
wait. But let's be honest. The BMI is really insignificant in Samoa.
Yes. And Clem, so what do you do to fill those gaps? You use your own biases. You go by what you're disgusted by, what looks ugly to you. So there's only so far where science can go, and then your own initial biases come over and take over, and then you go, that girl's too fat, or that guy's too fat. That's disgusting. I should.
At that point, wouldn't it just be preferences?
Exactly. So
wouldn't it just be initial, human preferences?
Yeah, it's not scientific at all. It's purely based on how you feel. And
I think a lot of things are scientific to a point. Don't you think? Most things are scientific to a point.
To a point, exactly. No, I'm agreeing with, I'm 100% agreeing with you. So then, who am I to say that this person is too fat? Because now it's not science anymore. Now it's purely on my own preferences. And what I prefer is not to look at this person. So the whole thing is about calling someone fat or saying that they're like overweight. It's like, it's bullshit to me. Because what you really want to do is help that person. And if you really want to help that person and not call them fat or bring them down, then you got to readjust how you come across like that, how you make that point. And the only point to me,
would you encourage them?
No, you wouldn't encourage them, but you also wouldn't disavow them, or like you wouldn't disavow them in the way that in a way that would be insulting or hurting. Like
See, the example that you gave is a clear-cut case of body shaming, but that's not. Sam gave the actual of what people take indicate that, and that is not body shaming. How's it shaming if you tell them the truth?
But I think
Like,
that's what
if somebody says you're overweight and you are 6'2", 6'3", and you weigh 400 pounds,
but there's
anybody with 2 eyes will see that you're overweight.
Right, but there's
like,
levels.
And to say it and say, "Oh, you're body shaming me,"
but there's
that's
even
not body shaming. That's
I
stating
think
obvious.
that's the sensitive aspect of it, though. But you got to look at the definition of shaming, like making people feeling inadequate. Is that really beneficial to somebody trying to lose weight? Not everybody handles feeling inadequate well. You either excel or you deplete, as Jordan Peterson fans know, and some of us are on this podcast. Like, not everybody handles that well. If you make a big person feel inadequate already, they might even deplete into being more obese, and you create problems to them leaning to food more for comfort, and you're not encouraging or helping that person. I think you got to find that balance between.
You got to find that line, yeah.
Right.
I mean, I think that's why they're also different like. That's where there's different kind of like trainers, instructors, or anything like that, because no one can pinpoint that perfect exact point right off the gate. Honestly, I think it's just better to have one extreme than the other, because you're really going to pull the people that want you are really going to want you, and the people that don't want you are really not going to want you.
Yeah, but then,
and I think that it's better to be extremely polarized in that direction as opposed to try to find that middle ground and sit on that fence, because sitting on that fence, you might offend a lot more people, or get people that are like about you a lot more.
But then
polarized.
Then you just attract the people that like you. Listen, if I find a girl that likes me fat and pudgy, like, then what the fuck is the problem? Like, what the hell? What the? I mean, everybody's gonna die, though. Everybody's gonna die. Everybody's gonna
sooner.
It's all about you think about the quality of life. It's like, what does it really matter?
Well, that's where I think the generation after mine is stupid. Only because well, like that's why I think like the whole generation is stupid. I'm not trying to offend, but like that after me, they started with the YOLO mess. You only live once. Who cares? Let's live our life and that's the reason why our life expectancy is so short.
But we had thug life.
And so like they'd be like, oh, and that's a hood mentality.
It's a great way
we always should be trying to live our whole life. We should always be trying to live our whole life and live it to the fullest extent, and not just try to, hey, you know what? And that's where a lot of us fall, because we'll say, you know what, I'm gonna go to Jamaica, I'm gonna go to this place, I'm gonna go and do this, and I'm gonna do all of this within 1 year, rather than saving, going this year to do this, and then you can go and stack money over here, you can do this, and now you can go to this place. And they don't think about leveling up. They just think, you know what, I arrived, I got my tax money, I'm gonna live it up, and then their life expectancy is just keep on going shorter and shorter because they're not even taking care of themselves. Like we have to take care of ourselves mentally, financially, physically, socially, all these different ways. And that's why I said like generation after mine. And I can't say the whole one, but I say a lot of the people after me is idiots. So like they don't consider, because I mean we don't go outside anymore. I'm not trying to be funny, and I'm saying like after my generation, everybody stopped going outside and staying out there for long periods of time. Everything isn't done by hand anymore; it's being done by machine. And like I'm not saying, I'm saying the culture, not individual people. Like the culture.
Honestly, it does make sense what you're saying. It did end with our generation on the panel.
It does because every old guy says it. Every old guy says that the generation, every old guy says that the generation is better before after. And then they die,
Shots fired.
and then life still goes on. People still live in life. Like,
yeah,
I feel like
I'm in the same boat. I am never gonna be a youngster hater. I already get it.
Stop the cap. Hey, I mean, it's not about being a youngster hater, but with that generation, we didn't have the same problems that generation has.
But how many entrepreneurs does this have? Just generation have compared to ours?
A lot.
Let's talk about the entrepreneurs.
Okay. So let's close. So wait. We talking about they're lazy, they don't understand stuff, but they are single-handedly more on a ratio than our generation in terms of entrepreneurship.
Well, we have to consider, like, where are they getting all of this potential to be an entrepreneur?
Just like what I said, we talking about numbers. If we're gonna paint them as idiots,
let me actually respond to your question. Because like I had said earlier about me, I might not be rich and I might not be successful, but I'm going to set up the stage for my next generation. And they're going to set up the stage for their next generation. And that's exactly what people in this society done. You got the Steve Jobs, you got all these different entrepreneurs who were successful. And it wasn't it wasn't the generation that's in of today. It was the generation before, and everything continues to upgrade. We have things more or less. When I was growing up, we didn't have all the internet and stuff, but now we have more open opportunity to reach more people, and that's why more people are successful.
Yeah.
It's more potential.
So there's not a lot of more idiots.
But with each generation presents its own problems and issues. Go ahead.
Okay, so if we're going to compare it from an economic standpoint, then and this is the true test, and I kind of got a feel for this answer. I only want to count the ones who started with capital. You started a brick and mortar building. Internet businesses do not count. So let's get at it from there.
I'm sorry. You're talking to the wrong guy about that because I'm from San Francisco, California. I've lived off .com. I've lived off .com era.
Hold on. It matters. It does matter because
it don't matter.
It doesn't matter. We're on the internet, bro.
Hold on. Stop. Cut. Wait. How does that matter? What? Like a business is a business. If you're talking about a brick and mortar can only affect. A brick and mortar can only affect a small section versus an internet can literally affect the whole world.
That's the thing. That's the thing.
I got
that's
this.
The thing that I think he's getting to. Hold on.
But you can't make the comparison. If you want to compare by economic businesses, if you want to compare businesses, you can't compare a generation who didn't have internet to a generation who did. That's comparing apples to oranges.
Absolutely, I agree with that. So how can
only the businesses that was starting your generation
we're on the same path flow on this. Mm-hmm. So in that same aspect, you cannot say, which is what Montavious was saying, you cannot say that, this generation is doing XYZ wrong because we have far more. And it's
success how?
What?
How does that measure? How does that relate to success?
When you have more, I think
because we have far more internet businesses.
That's it. That's all. That's all life is centered around. Like, do you have a business?
Business, if you're able to grow, if you're able to connect with that does not mean anything.
But the thing about it, though, I think if let's just say that maybe the internet goes down, how successful are these people going to be? Like my generation was before like all the internet stuff started coming in, so we can go outside. I see a lot of videos online. You have this white kid. As soon as he get he messes up on his controller. He sticks a game controller up his butt, or he goes and has a fit. This generation has a lot of issues because it's dependent on electronics. But in my generation, we was dependent on whatever we could create. We had to create fun, create games, or sit there and read and grow ourselves that way. And when I said that the generation was stupid, maybe I was loose-lipped and I didn't mean it to say it out loud. But I still...
Create games or sit...
Wait, what?
Keep going.
That the generation was stupid. But maybe I do want to say
Elmer,
that
you're getting feedback. That's why I muted you. You're getting a lot of feedback. That's why I muted you.
But yeah, it wasn't to necessarily be funny or to be insulting.
You're getting feedback. Elmer, you gotta keep yourself muted.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to be insulting or anything. I'm just saying, like, they're being deprived of a lot of essentials that the generations earlier had. And if like saying somebody who was in that generation, now that they have that, they can put their hands on things like this, or like, let's say like electronics, like now they have a better potential to reach it. But as this system or this culture declines in intelligence, like you can be famous off the stupidest things.
I mean, I don't think you can necessarily say that though, because like you're saying that we're being deprived of stuff, but like growing up in the internet, like that's all we've known. Just like how y'all haven't grown up like during the internet and stuff like that, like that's all y'all have known. So like we're kind of like adapting to what we've already been like.
But that's I would have to disagree, only because it's not all that we have known. Like we have known before the internet and the internet. But if you grew up only in the internet, you can't. It's not possible for you to completely understand being without.
Exactly. So you can't like say like a whole generation is being deprived of something that we've never like experienced something without, right?
Well, but that's isn't that the whole premise of being without? If you don't have.
Listen,
hold on.
Don't hear it. We talk about them. We talk about the social aspect.
But like, I can figure that out, but you can't figure out the internet. The internet is going to be there.
Right now, you realize we have a lot of programmers. Like who? I mean, just a lot of people that
figure that out.
Group
that
program HTML.
I can figure out how to be.
Can we go back to this body positivity? Because this whole generation thing, I hate it. It's annoying. It's ran out. It's played out.
That's what it is.
Listen, hold on. That's not how this works. That's not how this works. I want to tackle it a little bit more, just because there's a little bit more into it that we can all actually walk away.
That's everything. Hold on,
Elmer. Hold on.
I've been drinking. I'm sorry.
Good for you. This is something that we can actually learn from. All of us here on the panel, people actually watching, we can actually learn from this. Yes, this generation that we have, we are growing up, and we are growing up far different from any other generation prior. Far different. Generation prior to us, you only had sticks and stones to actually play with. Generation prior to that, they had the same thing. We're the only generation actually growing up with something far different that we have no idea how it's actually going to play out in the future.
Thank you.
But how you gonna act like we was cavemen or something? You're like, oh, they only had.
I'm not saying that, but I'm saying you guys did not grow up with the level of technology that we have nowadays.
Of course not.
And the thing about it, though, is
we have no idea how that even.
And that's what the future is going to be.
Everything. No. Okay, so Elmer, what he's saying also is far more correct than what we're saying, which is if all that shit was to shut down, we're fucked. We're fucked.
But then
the generation below us. I wouldn't even say us, but below us.
But if all that shit was to shut down, then we'd start all over. That means we're starting all over.
How can we start over? We never. Well, generation below us never played outside. Never knew how to do anything. Everything was YouTube. Everything
we learned. Civilizations throughout history have fallen, and we've come back. That's what's always been happening. What hasn't happened is the fucking internet. That's the only thing that has not happened in history ever. So, can I just
Elmer, you are truly a unique individual. I love
this guy, man. I love this guy.
I love you. But let's just tone it down. This conversation. I know where you're going, and it like let's just have the conversation.
All right, let John go. Hold on, let John go real quick.
Can I say one thing though, and then I'll stop talking? Let me say one thing.
Okay, go
ahead. Let me say one thing. There has always been a fear amongst the younger generation. This is why we can't skip this topic, because the generation before us is really the ones pushing the body shaming, because that's what it's been. It's been body shaming in generations before us. So we can't. It's not really an issue between body shaming versus body positivity. It's an issue between the old ideas and the new ideas. All right. So we can't skip that. So what I'm saying is, there's always been a fear, an irrational fear of what the future is going to look like. And the older generation are always the ones pushing to stay in the old image of what life is. Like, this has never been anything new. But it has always changed. It's been changing despite of them. And what I'm trying to say is, no one's saying anything about that people aren't obese. Like, maybe a small percentage of people, and you see them a lot more online because they're louder. But like, no one in this panel at least thinks that it's good to be morbidly obese. So like, why would you think that the majority of people think that? So the question is, how do we tackle that? How do we tackle morbid obesity in America? Because really, it's only in America, and it's not an issue of letting these people be like this. It's an issue of excess. It's an issue of capitalism. It's an issue of like people being able to choose to be fat. All right. So
okay, hold on.
What the question is a moral question.
Wrap it up. All right. Before I get to you, John, I want to go to Alex real quick, because she wanted to get back to this topic.
Yeah, to like go to a different question, maybe not like.
Oh my God.
I never answered.
I mean, I didn't even answer the question.
Yeah,
Me
like we started
Maddie didn't answer.
Okay, well then, I ain't got nothing else to
Okay.
say. I just want to get back to the concept of
Elmer derailed the whole conversation. Elmer.
I digress.
I'm gonna log out, guys.
Last closing comments.
I'm getting Alex mad at me. I see Maddie's mad at
Nobody's mad. This is just like
Elmer. Look, I support.
I love you on the panel.
I feel like you got
Closing comments.
What?
All right, cool. All right. So on this topic, I get. You said on this.
No, not. Hold on. All right, Elmer, say bye to the panel. You want to shout out your TikTok?
Yes. Spanish Lotus on TikTok. Spanish_Lotus on Instagram. Follow me on Instagram too. All right. I need friends.
That's my guy right here. That's my guy, Elmer.
I swear.
Follow him, Spanish Lotus. Cool. All right. That was a lot.
Yeah,
that happened.
it was.
Okay. Everyone hasn't answered yet, correct?
No.
Okay. Maddie, go.
Look, I lost my.
We got 3 people deep.
I don't even know what we're answering anymore. Is it the video? I answered. Wait.
Okay.
Yeah, I answered.
Okay. E Black, you answered? Yeah, you did. You did actually.
No, I never did.
Okay. Now you get a shot. Go ahead and answer.
Okay. For men, body shaming is right. You know, you can, as a man, body shame another man. I can call another man a fat ass. That lets another man know that he need to get his weight right. I can call another dude, hey, you too skinny, you lightweight. You need to get them push-ups on. That's what men do. So as far as men, we can body shame each other, but that's more or less a competition thing that we're doing. That's a masculinity thing. So, but men do not body shame women because it's improper, it's immoral, because you know how society is.
You really don't need to do that.
Yeah, we don't really need to do all that. So in terms of calling a woman fat or too skinny, it is what it is. But in terms of body positivity, I always think about my cousin. You know, the Lizzo situation is definitely a unique one because my cousin is definitely a large girl. She's she's went out for the cheerleading team. I understand her struggle. She's never gonna be the perfect size without doing, I mean, literally, she's just not. I'm sorry. And she's accepted that, but she can play the clarinet. This girl can dance. She can do the splits. She can sing. And I'm talking about my cousin. So yeah, Lizzo, to me, I can understand a Lizzo because I have a little cousin who's overweight, who knows how to dance, who knows how to sing, who's gets A's in class, who's extraordinary person. So I can understand a person like her, my cousin. I want her to believe in all her essence, and if she reaches the top, shoot for the stars, little girl. Because I have a cousin like that, and I love that little girl. So I understand. Like I said, we get so caught up in judging people. Just stop with the cap. We supposed to love each other as human beings, and we're not all too far from God's judgment. So that's all I wanted to say about it.
Oh my God.
That was good. I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. Sometimes in this society, in this especially Western fast-paced society, we do get caught up in the next big trend that we have to be following, as opposed to taking a step back and realizing the other person that's in front of us. So yeah.
Like for real, she's a real life girl. Like I was saying, like her dad is 6'8", her mom is 5'10". She doesn't really have too much choice as a high school girl in her size. She's just gonna be big, and no matter unless we put her through a multi-$1,000 training program, she's never gonna be to what societies are gonna be accepted of her. So. Like I said, for women like Lizzo, hey, if she looks up to her, hey, go ahead, girl.
So I got a question. E Black, when you were saying about us guys and how we do with each other.
Wait, hold on, John. Hold that thought. Sorry. Hold that thought. Did everyone go yet? Montavious, you need to go?
Yep.
You're the last one? Are you the last one? Listen,
I think I was.
A lot has
I don't know
happened.
if John is gone. If John has already gone, then I'm the last one.
I've already went. I was just gonna.
Okay. Go for it.
I was gonna respond to a comment that he put up there that I want to put back.
No. We need to get everyone to go, and then we're not trying to stay here for 5 hours.
All right.
That would be nice.
I was like, to me, both words are trigger words. I think that is being used so people can feel comfortable being in the position that they are, so they can never necessarily move forward or never have like that real push or that conviction to say, oh, he's fat shaming. Look at him. He's saying that I need to go to the gym, because people, like, anything can be considered fat shaming. Saying, hey, why don't you come to the gym with me? What you trying to say? I'm fat? He's fat shaming. And so, like, I think that both of those are trigger words used to try to make people feel bad about trying to help somebody else. And somebody had mentioned earlier that it's only fat people, like it's really only fat people in America. No, it's not a America issue. It's the Western world issue. It's not, and in some African cultures, they actually try to get fat because it is a symbolization of wealth. So it's not just a America type thing. So and I wanted to talk about this guy who was a brother to me, and he used to stay with me, and I told him, hey man, you can come stay with me, because he didn't have anywhere to stay. I said, you can stay with me, but you got to exercise every morning with me. Your breakfast has to be a salad. He was around 5'3" to 5'4", and was around 400 pounds.
Damn.
He looks like a grape, or he looked like a grape at the time. Damn. And he was like around the same height, laying down and standing up. So I'm like, no. If I'm cool with you, you gonna work out with me. And so like that was his thing where he had to stay with me. And the guy, he ended up, like I was telling him, hey man, you getting big, man. He was like, no, don't call me big. I'm fat. Call it like it is. And a lot of people who are fat and who know that they're fat, they don't want you to sugarcoat it. They say, hey, no, I'm fat. Just like with some homosexuals, they're like, oh no, I'm gay. I'm like they're proud of it to an extent. Well, not I'm not gonna go into that, but still, like a lot of people know like their size. They don't need somebody to be bashing them, but to just like I think that fat shaming is used generally, and it can be used and like to say like I'm fat shaming someone else just because I say, hey, you need to go to the gym. You might need a little bit of help. I can help you out. Like somebody can take that in a negative way. But in body positivity, if I would have told my homeboy, hey man, you fat man, but you good, man. You planning on going to do this, you're going to do that. You're going to be successful still. It doesn't matter, man. Hey, exercise whenever you feel. He told me like just the day before. He's like, hey man, thanks man for all your help. For all the times where you was pushing me, like it definitely helped. And he ended up losing before he went to go after his dream, like he ended up losing like 60 pounds. And he was like, oh, I felt so confident that I'm going to school now, that I actually feel like I actually love myself, which is where I came from with a lot of the things that I was saying earlier. Is he was telling me these things. He was like, I was depressed after my mom died, and then I had other family members die, and now I just kept getting fatter and fatter. But thank you for the support. And so I'm like, it really depends. If you're gonna do body positivity, make sure that it is salted, that is sprinkled with salt. And if you're gonna do the body shaming, make sure it's a little sugar coated.
Yeah, that's a good
But
one.
I digress.
You're getting good, man. You're getting good. I like it. John, you had something to say?
I digress.
Did we get through everyone?
No,
We got
ask
through
your
everyone,
question.
right?
I want you to get into that. I wanted you to get into that question that we were talking about, how men body shame each other.
So like I totally understood where he was coming from. And he used his knees as an example. And at no point did if somebody like gonna tell her or should tell her that there's not a correlation that she's not gonna be a successful person. You understand what I'm saying? So like how does this, and I'm gonna say y'all generation, because this is how y'all think, you're so sensitive. How in the hell would you grab that out of what he was talking about and think that means that, oh, you're not going to be successful? Imagine someone telling her, I think the comment was, when you pull the comment back up, because now
What did it say?
it was Elma put the comment up there. Imagine telling that girl you will not amount to anything unless you're skinny. That is not what this is about. It's not about being skinny. It's not about telling someone you need to be skinny. You got people who will never be skinny. I will never be skinny. I've been in my top fit and I was not skinny. 185 is as low as I can get. That's it. And that's with a muscular frame. That I'm done at that point. Period. Rib cages showing in there. Well, not no rib cage, but you know what I'm saying. That's it. It's not going to get smaller than that. But why would you go that far? This is how these irrational ways of thinking manifest and stay around, because you go from one fucking extreme to another extreme. Like just because somebody says, hey, you need to work out, that's not saying, that does not translate into, hey, you don't fucking go to the gym, you're not going to be shit ever, and you're probably going to die tomorrow. That doesn't translate like that. But but everybody is so sensitive. Like you can't say, I'm not going to hear that shit if you don't tell. If you don't say nothing, I'm telling you, I'm just going to sit back and chill and like, okay, cool. And as long as you keep encouraging me and feeding that, I'm going to keep eating it up. I'm going to keep eating it up, and I'm going to keep eating it up. And that's just the way it is. And that's, you know what? And it's not just with fat people. That shit works with everybody. It shit works when somebody's inadequate about anything. As long as they think they're doing good, then they're gonna be fine with being complacent. That's where you get complacent men. That's where you get lazy ass men. That's where you get lazy ass women. That's where you get complacent women. When they think just good enough is where I'm at, and you're satisfied with that, and if that works for me, that works for you, that works for me too. Some people just think with a fat person, we need a little bit more of a push. You need to be woke up.
All right. That was a good closing for all of this. All right. So we're going to move on to the next question of the night. Can being overweight and trying to date be toxic to your mindset? Can being overweight and trying to date be toxic to your mindset? E-Black.
Wow. Wow. Okay.
You know what happens when you come to my panel, man? Come on, man. You know who I am.
I know the questions is amazing, my guy. When I think of this, I think about yes. Being overweight can be toxic to your mindset. I remember a girl who I was dating, and she ordered like a double cheeseburger and a large fry and a large soda, and she was just eating in front of me, and I'm just like looking to her. I'm like, girl, that is not feminine. That is not on my
just shoveling it all down.
It's just there's a certain thing in terms of femininity in which, you know, gluttony does not exist. There's a balance. You know, I get it. You want to go out to fine dine, you want to eat, but you cannot eat the porterhouse. That's just not feminine. So, you know, I think it can be toxic because sometimes certain women get out of space to where their eating habits can affect their dating habits. And you hear it all the time. Women want to take men. Women only date men who take them out to eat. Well, then if I'm buying this meal and they're sitting there scarfing it down, then I'm turned off. And then not only that, I can't consider you marriage material. You might be a good person. You might be good at your job. You might be a lot of things, but I can't get back down the fact that you're eating 2 full course meals in front of me. So I do think that, you know, it does become toxic when you're overweight and men are just like, no, like, look, I can only buy so much food for you. It's like, look, I cannot afford this food. So it does become toxic. So I'm just going to keep it short like that.
Okay. Maddie.
Yeah, I think that being overweight and trying to date can be toxic to your mindset because dating reveals a lot of things about you that you never really saw. I mean, you may think you're one way, but then you date people and they pull out of a lot of who you really are. So when you're dating and if you're possibly getting rejected or ghosted, you may look a little deeper into yourself and say, maybe I'm not presenting myself in the best way. Maybe it's this, maybe it's that. And a lot of the times the physical is what we see and your weight is very in your face. So yeah, it can do some damage to your mindset.
Montavious? Yep.
My bad. My mic was muted.
No, it's cool.
Can being overweight and trying to date be toxic to your mindset? It can. And I don't know how it's gonna sound, but some people have a fetish for big girls. So I mean, if they find someone who likes that type of situation, it might be beneficial. But if you're trying to date like Lizzie or Lizzo or whatever her name is, and you're trying to find what you like, which is a fit man, but you're not, like, you're going to keep getting rejected, and that rejection is going to start giving you some PTSD. You're going to get all types of messed up emotions. So, like, it is, but it's not. It's really dependent on the situation because you have to. Generally, it's going to give a lot of people, since fat shaming is bad, or since like telling people like, hey, this type of body, you need to work out XYZ is bad. Like these people, whenever they go out into the streets or try to find somebody, like they're going to get a rude awakening. Like, because most people who are like, oh, no, you shouldn't fat shame. No, oh, you shouldn't tell this person that they're fat. They're not fat. They're skinny. And they're telling this person, but if you say, all right, how about you go and gain weight and look like them? They're like, hell no. What you mean? I'm not built for that. I don't want to be fat. So, like, I really just think that it's dependent. It's subjective. It depends. If they can find somebody who likes it, okay. But generally, it is gonna cause a toxic situation.
Alex?
Yeah, E-Black provided an interesting insight. I never dealt with that. I never heard of no one dealing with that. But I do think that it can create a toxic mindset. A lot of that can be due to like societal pressures and stuff like that. And a lot of people have like this image in their head of like the girl that they want, and it may not be a bigger girl, which is unfortunate. But I don't know. I think a lot of bigger women are insecure when it comes to going out on dates. A lot of them are very cautious about what they eat. I've met a lot of my friends are like that, who are bigger. And you know, obviously, whenever you're going out on a date, maybe you shouldn't even have to feel that way. So they're kind of like convincing themselves to be someone that they're not. And I like.
So you're saying I'm right?
Well,
let her get out her comments.
Right about what? About what? Because I don't know, like. Oh shit! Oh shit! I mean, I don't know. It's just I know a lot of women are cautious because of society norms and stuff like that. So it can be toxic, especially whenever they're being apprehensive about how much they eat, or a man might be like, "Oh, girl, you eat a little too much," and so like on the next date, they may like not even want to go on it. They feel insecure. But Knowledge and Relationships, or M3, have brought up like a interesting comment that kind of relates to this about how like skinny women eating too much. And I feel like there's like definitely a double standard, because like skinny women can definitely go on a date, eat too much, like, oh girl, you're eating a lot. But then like a bigger girl would do it, and it's like that's a huge deal breaker. So it's kind of really subjective to me, honestly. But yeah, it definitely can be toxic.
John.
Yep. It can be toxic. Because even if you find somebody who accepts it, you're not going to fit. When anytime that this person goes out, then and other men are around, you're going to get jealous. You're going to feel inadequate, and you're going to push that shit off on her because you're not addressing the real problem, and vice versa. When y'all go out and finance, I know you're looking at that bitch. That's fine. You should look at her. Look how small she is. All the beliefs that are in her head, she's going to talk to you about it. You're going to feel like, what's wrong with you? I seen you looking at her. No, I wasn't looking at nobody. Yes, you were. Don't lie to me. It's fine. I know I don't look like that, but that's okay. That's toxic. Those are toxic behaviors. And that comes out. Anytime you've been around, I mean, women already have certain insecurities. And you here it is, this woman who's overweight, and let's say she found a guy who's not overweight, and she feels like she feel accepted. That's still not going to change the idea that when this dime piece walks up, she's not going to feel some kind of way and feel like her man wants that guy, wants that girl. And the same thing with a dude. He'll start to feel the same way when other males come around, especially alpha males. They come in and walk a certain way, he's gonna swear his girl wants them. So yeah, it ends up being toxic.
Sometimes you just want to tell them deal with it, but you can't really do that. You can't. Sam. You've been holding it all in. Let it out.
Yeah, I know. I was absorbing all of everyone's comments and stuff. And I honestly was pouring over in my head like how I would answer this, because I don't know right now specifically, like I'm not like good. Like I can't get into the hypothetical situation of being overweight and trying to date. Like it's just, I don't know why. Like it's like right now in this moment, like my mind is like blocking it.
Have you ever dated an
You can't
overweight
relate
man?
to it. Like you can't resonate with that, and that's completely understandable because it was hard for me too. You know, I don't want to speak on an issue that I've never like really had to endure.
Well,
But
yeah.
you guys
yeah.
have never dated anybody fat.
Oh no, that's
kitty guys.
No, yeah, okay, so that's not the same.
See how
Like a
Wow.
like a stick.
Wow.
Like I'm not even saying.
Point set.
Answer.
Like that, I'm
Slam
saying, like
dunk.
not even like
My
butt
point.
dudes, like just a stick. Like I like it.
My point.
That's just my preference, though.
Yeah.
My point.
What?
What I'm saying.
Sorry, I don't even think I answered the question. Answer. Can you be overweight?
Okay. Let Sam go.
Can it be toxic? Can it? I mean, probably. Sorry, that's like my response is yeah, probably. Especially from what everyone has shared so far with their.
I'm gonna help Sam with this one. I want to ask her a
Wait,
question.
hold on. I want her to think through this real quick. If you think, even if you are not a fat person, think of a fat person going out on the dating market, going after person after person.
Think of you going out with a fat person.
Well, okay, so I'm gonna take it. Let's say from Clement's suggestion. I think that a lot of the times when someone is overweight and they're aware of it and they're aware of the health issues that come into place, their self-confidence might not be where it needs to be exactly in order to actually go on a date and establish a healthy relationship with another human being. So yeah, I mean, it could be toxic to their mindset, and as it could cause them to digress back into, well, if it's not going to work out with this person, like I probably should just give up and just stop.
But even more than that, or adding on to that as well, it's like you are who you attract when it comes to dating.
Exactly.
So like, if you're not in a healthy mindset, if you're not in a healthy body, but you're still going to go out there and trying to look for someone else to satisfy that inner peace for you.
Yeah.
Are you really going to find anyone of quality?
Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly. Yes. Thank you for saying all that, because honestly,
I knew that's what you were going for. That's it.
Thank you. Because honestly, like I'm over here just like thinking abstractly, but it's toxic to go out and date people and waste other people's time when you're not in the best place. Like that's toxic. Anyway, I'm sorry.
Okay, John, you wanted to say something?
Well, no, I mean, I was saying, like, if you were, let's say, for some reason, you did go out with a guy and he was fat, where would you, and he asked you where you wanted to go, and you were decisive, and you said, what would you say? Where would you say you would want to go?
Sorry.
I'm going somewhere with this. Where would you say you would want to go?
Is this a first date?
First date.
And he's paying, or
nah? You know what? Second date. Y'all went out the normal place on the first date, and he was funny. He was charismatic. You liked him, so you want to go out again. Yeah, and he's paying for it. Don't worry about all that. Yeah, go.
Probably somewhere nice, like
where?
Like $50 a person type of place.
Okay, yeah.
Golden Corral.
Not a buffet, unless it's like Chamagacha, like a Brazilian steakhouse, like that. That'd be kind. You know what? Brazilian steakhouse. That's my answer.
All right, so you're at this Brazilian steakhouse, and you notice that he did not order much to eat.
Yeah.
Would you say something?
Yeah, I'd be like, dude, this is a buffet. Like, what are you doing? Like, they come around with, like, the meat sticks and like slicing the food for you. Like, dude, come on. Like, how come your cards flip down? Like, that's weird. Like, you're.
And how would that make you feel about him? Would you feel secure, or would you feel that he's decisive? How would you feel, honestly? How would you feel if he's not even willing to eat in front of you and he's trying to turn into something that he's probably not?
I mean,
would it be a turn on or a turn off?
It's a total turn off because of the lack of confidence in himself.
And so when you decided this third time you don't really want to go out with him, how you think he'll feel?
He probably will think that it has something to do with his weight. Because
absolutely.
That's
what I'm getting at.
that's the first thing that like everyone has been saying, like physical attraction is the first thing that attracts people to go on a date in the first place.
And I know nothing is 100%. I know it's not. But what I'm trying to do is really, because you guys, nobody on this panel, for the exception of me, know what it's like to be fucking fat. And I'm telling you the mindset, what goes through.
How dare you?
Mind when
Hey, I've been fat. I have a dad bod, man.
I'm talking about fat, bro. Fat. You understand what I'm saying? When you've been like that, this is what you go out through. Sam is very attractive. You don't want to look like a hog. You don't want to overeat. You don't want to fit the description. These are the things that go on in that person's mind. You understand? And then she just told you it will be a turnoff. So when she don't go out with this guy on the third date, I'm sorry, then guess what? He's gonna feel dejected. It's gonna be bad. It's gonna be bad, and it might be enough to make him go work out.
Yeah.
And that brings up another point.
I mean,
masking it and acting like it ain't there is not the way. Exactly. It's not the way, because they're gonna find out either through jobs, society, or trying to date that this is not okay. Like, this is not okay.
Yeah.
Social norms define the behavior of the pack. Don't forget that. Yeah. Instead of everybody try to change social norms, but in the end, people gonna respond how they respond, and you can't change that. You can't cancel it. You can want to, but it don't happen.
Closing comments on this one before we move on to the last question of the panel. Anyone has anything else to say? All right.
Maddie, what you got? Maddie. Come on, Maddie, what you got?
Nah, look, it's okay. It's all right. It's all right. I tried to get in there, but John just be, John already knows how. John be trying to kick it over.
John is John, yeah.
All right. So, last question of what image or lesson does an overweight or obese adult send to children looking up to them? What image or lesson does an overweight or obese adult send to children looking up to them? Who haven't I started with yet? John. I haven't started with you yet.
That is okay.
So I'm going to start with you. That
is okay. That is okay to be like that. That is okay. Because my son was always athletic, and he's starting to just sit around and gain weight. He told his grandmother, I want to be like my dad. And I was like, nah, bro, we got to get you in the gym, my boy.
Damn, bro.
That's not going to happen. I said, I ain't going to let you, you don't want to do this. We had an hour-long conversation about that. I said, man, you ain't got love handles yet. None of that. So you don't want to go down that road. You just don't. Because he's always seen me, a big dude. And he never really seen no negative behind it, because like I said on previous shows, it never affected me not dating, because even though that's a mindset of somebody, it wasn't my mindset. I was confident, you know what I'm saying? But still,
confident and overweight doesn't exactly,
they don't normally coincide, but I'm an anomaly. I mean, I was always slim for a long period of time, so that confidence just stayed there. But yeah, you're the model, especially if you're a significant adult in their life. You're gonna be the model. You're the model. That's why when you see that's why people think that being fat is related to genetics, and it's not. It's because they see this, that's their model, that's what they care about, and then that person either doesn't know how to fix it, doesn't know how to tell them, or their lifestyle is designed for their children to become overweight because of the way they cook, the way they eat, how often they eat.
Montavious. You're muted, bro. I'm sorry.
Dang, this is something new. I thought I was gonna be one of the last again.
No.
All right, that's what's up. All right, so what image does an overweight or obese adult send to children looking up to them? I think it's a toxic. It's a toxic lesson to teach them. I would equate it sort of like I guess something that's commonly going on today, like forcing our children to wear masks. That's giving them the false impression that their bodies can't fight off certain things and that they should always be fearful. And so, like the same way that while they're trying to get us, push us to approve of being big, I think it's possibly even like like an underlying thing of like depopulation, because there's more people who die of heart attack, diabetes, and all, type 2 diabetes, not type 1, but type 2 diabetes, because they got fat than pretty much everything else. So, like, I'm more or less saying it's a toxic image that's being portrayed to the children of accept yourself no matter how you are and never seek to better yourself. And I digress.
You and this digressing, bro.
I done adopted it too.
Yeah. E Black.
Well, let's just say like this. I think the children are obviously going to learn anything that the parent does. Their eating habits, their eating schedule, their cleaning schedule. Anything that the parent does, they're going to pick up. And if they're predisposed to issues like overweightness, they're going to pick that up too. So in terms of what lessons, I think what I think I've seen people who are overweight, who have overweight children, is just confidence and self-preservation in terms of accepting the world in terms of how they are in the world. So, I think it's kind of hard because you're kind of pigeonholing the question in a way that says what lesson or image that they're learning for children.
Do you think there's a positive image that could be portrayed from it?
Yeah. I think, like I said,
positive image that could be portrayed from an obese adult or child.
Yeah, if you're a successful woman or a man and you're successful in your lifestyle, then your children are going to see successful obese people.
Okay.
I mean, that's as simple as fact. I mean, if you graduate from college and you're obese, and if you're successful in paying your bills as an obese person, then your children are going to see that is doable as an obese person.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You're very body positive.
I'm just not a hater, man. Like
I'm not hating, but I still think that there is a fine line.
Yeah, I think there's a level
has to be.
But the fine line is on the skinny side too. I've been skinny my life too.
That's fine.
I've walked the beach and I've been skinny and non-muscular, and I know what that looks like versus a person who's fat too. Sometimes I'd rather be fat on the beach than skinny on the beach. You get what I'm saying? Like, we all have our issues, so I'm not gonna sit here and say that there's a perfect mixture of individual that guarantees success in life and acceptance in life. So.
Okay. Definitely an interesting outlook. Definitely not one I've heard. So I'm glad I had you on this panel. Really.
You already know, man. Come on
now. All right. Let's end it off with the ladies. I don't think any of you have kids. So imagine in a picture perfect world, you've had your family.
Not yet though.
Sam has kids.
Yeah, her puppies.
Yes, you do.
Boom.
I just seen them in the camera a minute ago.
There you go. Come on.
She like, oh my God.
What kids?
Oh, Montavious. I'm sorry, Eddie. Whoops. I don't know why. I thought you were gone. It's getting late. Past the 3-hour mark. My eyes aren't working as well. Sam, you're up. What image or lesson does an overweight or obese adult send children looking up to them?
Well, I was just kind of thinking from like a positive perspective is if this adult learns from like a medical professional that they are overweight and obese and have to take the steps to change, and they do take the steps to change and it works out for the better overall for their health and their mental health and their emotional health, then what it shows to children is that as an adult you could be presented with something like a physical barrier in your life and you can overcome it and change for the better. So I think that even though like an adult can be overweight or obese and a child will look up to them, at the same time, like once that adult starts to change for the better into a more healthier person, the child can also see that change is possible. And I don't know if this is like a good example, but when I was growing up, my dad smoked cigarettes like basically my entire life. Like he stopped, actually surprisingly he stopped. He smoked 2 packs a day, and he stopped within the past like 5 years, cold turkey, because like a doctor sat him down and said, if you don't stop doing this, you're gonna die. Like your lungs are gonna give out, like, and you're not ever gonna live to see your grandchildren. You're not gonna live to see maybe even 70. Like it's over for you. And so he stopped. And honestly, for me, like even though like I'm grown and I was already out of the house, like seeing my dad, like as his child, seeing him change for the better inspired me to just, keep being positive with the things that I do in my life. Like it's inspirational. So yeah, like it could be a good thing if an adult learns that they're obese or overweight, for the children around them, if that adult takes action to change. Kind of like what John is doing with his life. So yeah, I mean, on the other hand, though, you do be watching. If you watch 600 Pound Life,
Oh wow, that's a whole story.
a whole nother story. That's a whole nother story because somehow those people have kids somehow. And somehow, like I physically cannot comprehend how that happened. But I digress. I digress because I'm
he got the whole panel doing it.
Everyone's digressing. Everyone's digressing. You see what you did, Montavious?
But those children can look up to that adult, and actually, if the child knows that obesity and overweightness is bad, and they know the repercussions, and they see that adult like continuing to live that lifestyle, that child can start to develop a distrust in adults, honestly, and like or just like a dislike in in trusting that person, if that makes sense, and it could lead to negative emotions and feelings towards them, kind of like how I felt whenever my dad was smoking 2 packs a day. Like I was like, man, he's just trying to die, isn't he? Like I hate this. He makes my clothes smell. Like
Before we go on to the next person, my mom actually did used to smoke, and my brothers and I decided to come up with a plan. When she's not looking, we'd go in her purse and grab her cigarettes and like flush it down the toilet to get her to stop.
Here, y'all.
Yeah. Y'all got beat a lot, didn't you? I'm just kidding.
We did. Yes. We're in the best.
Hey, John, we know that's a death sentence, right? That's a death sentence. In the black family, you throw away some Cools and Newports, you might as well just wipe.
She saw the good we were trying to do. Yeah. We still got an ass whooping, but she saw the good.
$9 go down
behind it, right?
Exactly. I mean, like, you risked your life. You got the beating.
Exactly. But it's like, listen, it was out of love. Right? You took the beating out of love.
Yeah.
But next up, Alex.
Okay, first off, I want to say, Montavious, you are iconic for I Digress, because I will be using that from now on. But for me, it could go 2 ways. Of course, there's a negative aspect of it. A lot of the times, children can be a product of their environment. So if all you know is eating unhealthy, not exercising, not just getting your blood flowing, then obviously you can emulate that. And then there's the other side of it. I think a lot of children that grow up see how their parents are and they see that those negative traits and they can look at it and be like, I don't want to be like that. And even if the parent isn't even able to fix those negative habits, I think that sometimes children do grow up to have their own mindset to form what they want in the future and to look at that and be like, that's not what I want. A lot of my cousins have had to take their parents to the doctors to be told they have diabetes. They have to push them in the wheelchairs and stuff like that. And they're fit because they're like, this is not what I want to go through. This isn't what I want to pass down to my children. My dad has diabetes. Diabetes runs in my family, heart, high blood pressure, having high cholesterol. That's something that I don't want. So obviously what I do, so what I try to do is make sure that I'm eating a lot of vegetables, that I'm exercising, running, and stuff like that. So there's also the positive aspect. You can look at that, look at your parents' mistakes or whoever your guardian is and be like, that's not what I want, and turn that around for not only you, but hopefully your family in the future. I digress.
Everyone digressing. Maddie, close this out.
All right. My one thought of the night. What image lessons does an overweight or obese adult send to children? I think that it desensitizes children. I don't think that they think much of it, but subconsciously they don't think that being overweight is a big deal. And that's where I think we're at in society today. Like, we're so desensitized by people being overweight because it's such a common occurrence that a lot of the times that's why people don't want to do anything about it. That's why people say, oh, I still love myself and I'm not going to get thinner. It's because there's that numbness to that lack of importance. People don't really shine the light of how detrimental it is in people's lives. And I think that's what kids see. I mean, if you're seeing your parent function completely fine, and I use that in quotations because, of course, as a child, you don't know and see everything. But if you're seeing the surface level of your parent functioning completely fine, you're not really going to think anything of, that obesity. You're not seeing the medication they're taking, the doctor's visits, the strain that they have waking up and going to sleep. So I think overall that we're living in a society that doesn't really pay much attention to the important things. Everything is surface level, fast fat fitness. Like I was saying earlier, the 10-minute abs, the 20-minute diets. It's like everybody wants expedited, next to Amazon package.
Instant gratification.
Instant gratification. So I think anything that takes longer than instant gratification, people are not willing to do. So when you see your parent in that light, it's just kind of like, whatever, it's fine. I'll do a 10-minute diet. I'll do a 10-minute this, if anything, because half the time we don't really think about the effects of what the actual obesity is doing.
That was good.
Do you digress?
Guys, I've really enjoyed this panel. We've had our ups and downs. All right, I've loved you all and I've hated you all in some certain instances. But I guess we are going to close it out for the night. Let's give one last shout outs.
All right, Black Wall Street Trading LLC.
Black Wall Street.
You can find me at on YouTube, Black Wall Street Trading LLC, Instagram at John Cornelius 8770, and TikTok John Cornelius 8770. I think that's correct. Yeah. So hit me up.
Sam.
Thanks for listening in, everybody. I'm Sam. You can follow me on Instagram at ShamWow. The O is a 0. And yeah, these are always really interesting. As a skinny person, I don't think about stuff like this all the time. So it's good to talk about it all.
Black.
Yo, it's good. Look me up, YouTube, eBlack TV. I have a Facebook page called eBlack TV. I also have a Facebook group called eBlack TV. All one word. Do not separate eBlack from TV, because I'm never separated from the reality I live in and my blackness. So check me out. Thanks. Shout out to CKQ. Always enjoyable.
Appreciate you. Alex.
Hey y'all, my name is Alex Brown. I'm the host of my podcast, Everything is Anything. You can find me on Instagram at Everything is Anything Podcast, and my personals and Instagram. It was an honor to be a part of this podcast panel yet again. Y'all have a good night.
Good night.
Maddie.
Hello, everyone. You can follow me on my Instagram, Diane_Maddie, and you can follow me on my YouTube as well. It's my name on the screen, the Maddie Diane, and you can hear more of my thoughts and commentary there. Thank you for watching.
Close it out. Oh, hold on. All right, Montavious. I digress.
It's my YouTube page is Library of Law, audiobooks and discussions is a mouthful, but that's my YouTube page. I know I said it last time, but I'm definitely pushing to kick my podcast off soon. So stay tuned for that. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I look forward to working with pretty much anyone on upcoming topics.
Awesome. So if you haven't already, please hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. I usually host this panel every Wednesday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, where I have a bunch of different guests on, some of the same returning ones, and we will have tough and interesting topics like this. Before we close out, do give a warm round of applause to the panel again. They've been great. And please like and subscribe to any of their social media platforms. It's going to be in the description of this video. Other than that, yeah, we are all done. It's been a long night with you all. It's been fun. We're closing it out. All right. I'll see you all after the show.
Ain't hard to see, they tryna keep black in the back, just like Rosa Parks, cop shooting black.